Look at the leaps and bounds that we've made in the last 50 years. Look at the leaps and bounds we've made in the last 10 and 5 years as far as technology goes. And imagine what it's going to be like in 7 to 10 years from now, when the kids that are starting school now come out of high school and leave high school and get out there into the world. It's going to be such a different world. And these children, as I said, will have no reference point if we do not choose to intervene now. And forget this puppet show of politics. That isn't going to solve anything. None of the stuff that we're focusing on is going to solve anything. It's all these external issues that we're focusing on and thinking we can point the finger at someone and heal the world that way. But it's what's been rolled out underneath. It's the tech. It's all of this communication system, this surveillance system, this digitizing of everything. That is the problem. That is the New World Order. I keep saying this because it's true and is a really important issue that people need to focus on, because in another 5 or 10 years, you're going to look up from all their research and go, wow, what happened? How did I get here? How did I suddenly find myself in this incredible digital lockdown? Why wasn't I paying attention? And now's the time that people can pay attention. If we don't do it soon, folks, then there's no point even continuing with what we do in the independent media. There's no point even protesting this system, because we're not going to make a difference if people continue to use the tech. I'm not meaning to be brash with anybody. I guess a lot of people simply can't see what they're doing. A lot of people really can't see what this control grid is and where it's coming from. And they really don't understand what the New World Order is. They can see that there's a lot of corrupt people doing a lot of corrupt things. They can all tell that they're in a state of scarcity because of this money system, but so much of it is smoke screens. And even if you do find the terrible people at the top that you've been looking for all your life, what are you going to do then? You can point your finger at them all you like, but who's going to arrest and try these people? Nobody. And even if they are arrested and tried, well, what then? What happens then? The system's still here. Everything's still rolling out. People just aren't seeing the forest for the trees. It's this automated system that is the problem. In the last 50 years, the human attention span has been reduced from something like 30 minutes down to 8 seconds. And 8 seconds, folks, that's 1 second shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. That's the human race, and that's a pretty shocking way to be. We've now got a species that has a shorter attention span than a goldfish, which previously had the shortest attention span of any creature on the planet. Now we've outdone them, folks. Now humanity has a shorter attention span than a goldfish. Think about that. That's pretty shocking. That's pretty shocking. And has it happened? Again, it's happened due to our tolerance of wrong behavior and our refusal to acknowledge what's going on around us. Even if we do acknowledge it, we just don't do anything about it because we believe that all these other people who are actually our employees have some weird type of authority over us when they don't. The question is, where does this belief in authority come from? A lot of it is through occult mechanisms, folks. A lot of it is because of the way we are indoctrinated into occult teachings without really knowing what we're doing. Our belief in the written word, our belief in the power of our employees to cast spells that we somehow believe control us, which is essentially what written law is. It's not natural law. It's an occult way of controlling mankind through means that are completely and utterly unnatural. And this happens to us on so many levels and on so many degrees. People really do not realize to what a degree the occult rules their lives. This is why you're told never to look into the occult, folks. You might actually figure out what's going on, and they certainly don't want you doing that. And I wonder about all of this stuff, folks. I really do. I really wonder what this reality is. Sometimes I think we're even caught in a time loop. Sometimes I really wonder just how far real history actually goes back. Because what do we know? What do we know about history? All we really know, all we can be sure of, is that which exists within living memory. All we've got before that is books. And what are books? They're just a series of spells that people have written down on paper. Do they really mean anything? I'm sure a lot of them do, but how can we be sure of anything we've been taught? How can we be sure of anything we've been told is true? Like I said, sometimes I think this is a time loop or a holographic experiment or something. Just hypothetically thinking about it, imagine if there was another level above this level. As above, so below. Imagine if that is what the true meaning of a fractal reality is. But just hypothetically, imagine if there was another reality above this reality. I really wonder what this reality is and what this experiment, this grand experience that we're having is really all about and what we're supposed to do with it. Now, sure, it's about gathering data, but I think we're given all of these opportunities to step into our heart and we refuse to do so. I think that's the problem. And I think we could heal the whole world by stepping into our heart. I really do. Just applying our heart to everyday situations will change all of these situations. Imagine applying your heart to the war, folks. I mean, that's certainly going to make a big improvement there, I'm sure. And we have to have a little bit of understanding for all of this and a little bit of understanding for all of these people everywhere and realize that the whole human race is facing the same problem. We're all in the same dilemma and we're all facing the same future. And we've got to put all of our stuff down and just learn to cooperate a little bit. I think that'll make a huge difference. But I really do wonder what's actually going on here, folks. I really do. What is this journey all about? And I guess that's something we've been asking ourselves for so long. What are we here for? What does this all mean? And how did we go so wrong? You know, last week I investigated the possibility of where we went wrong was really the metaphorical biting of the apple, the search for knowledge, and what that search for knowledge has brought us to. How when you introduce a usurious money supply over that thirst for knowledge, you also introduce a system which will lead ultimately towards automation and ultimately to where we are right now. And everything about this system is designed to take that away from us. And even when we look for a way out of the system, we look for it externally. We look for the secret code or the secret book or the secret key or the secret doctrine or the secret plan, the secret blueprint that's going to lead us to freedom. But we always look externally. We don't look for what's in our hearts, what exists inside us. I mean, many people do to a certain degree, but even the people who look within their hearts and find this stuff within them and find this spark of understanding.
This is a full 3 months of food without needing any refrigeration or special storage. And you're looking at our long-awaited 3-month survival food kit.
See these plastic totes right here?
Understanding that they have. They still go out and they read books about self-improvement and they use all the tech that they're given around them. They don't see how easy it could really be to change this world if we were simply to apply ourselves to ourselves. You know, you look at this concept, folks, the concept that we could change the world by simply stepping into our hearts and refusing to tolerate bad behavior, refusing to tolerate wrong behavior. It's getting more and more in your face, and people are becoming number and number to it. It's almost like the universe, this reality itself, this construct that we are in, is screaming out to us to step into our hearts. You know, no one's coming to lead you to safety, folks. No one can do it but yourself. There is no big movement that can come along. There is no hero to lead the charge. And think about it, folks. Anybody attempting to lead the charge against this system, what are they going to do? What's the intention? What do you really think will happen? Like I said, even if we were to pull down every world leader that we've got now and replace them, what do you think the outcome would be? It's all theatre. All of the politics is theatre. All of the countries are theatre. All of these wars are manufactured. There is no reason for anybody to be fighting anybody else. All of it is theatre designed to distract us, to bring this control grid online underneath us. We don't really realise what the control grid is, and we don't really realise what the system that's been put in place is going to do. And as I said before, you know, even if you're one of the people who sits at the top of the control grid and you run the monetary system and everything, all this sort of stuff, it doesn't matter. Once the system comes online, becomes fully autonomic, then we're all part of the same equation according to the system. But more important than all this, folks, is the future that we are allowing to be created for the kids. And as I said earlier, when these kids come out of school, this new generation that's just beginning school now, when they come out of school, they're not going to have any reference point. They're not going to have any idea what it's like to be free, what it's like to be a real human. You know, the smart system is the new world order. If people can't see that, well, they're just looking in the wrong direction. But no one can lead you out of this politically. No one can lead you out of this with a revolution or any type of physical action, any type of pulling down the system or voting people in or voting people out or starting any type of movement. You've got to put down the tech yourself, and you've got to reclaim your humanity if you're not prepared to do that. well, no one else can do it for you.
Along the Louisiana coast is bad now. Just wait a few years.
Yeah, a new study from NASA warns there could be record flooding, possibly every day or two in some cities in the next decade, and you can blame it all on the moon.
A wobble in the moon could create dangerous waves for coastal communities. A NASA study found the moon's natural wobble as it orbits the Earth could create high tides that cause widespread flooding. The moon's tilt changes over its 18.6-year cycle.
That wobble, in combination with climate change and sea level rise, could significantly increase high tide flooding across the globe and here in Louisiana.
It's a relatively small shift that has a relatively large impact on the tides that we see here on Earth.
Scientists have predicted this for the last 70 years, but it's actually happening more quickly and it's more intense than we realized.
Well, the storms, which have caused so much devastation, are part of a weather system which first caused flash flooding in the UK earlier this week. From America to Europe and Russia, extreme weather is breaking records.
There was so little time to run, people tell us. Look at the force of this flood.
The region has seen record high rainfall over the past 24 hours.
Oh my God! Was this here?
Towns and villages across Western Germany have been battered. Houses, businesses, livelihoods destroyed in a matter of hours. Thousands of people left homeless across this region.
Oh my God.
Heavy rain. Flash floods. Extraordinary results. Parts of the capital experienced torrential downpours yesterday. In northwest London, water cascaded from Hampstead Heath onto nearby Finchley Road. Cars were stranded under the Westway, the road which leads out of the city.
These are the worst floods to hit this part of Western Germany in living memory.
This fire is raging out of control in southern Oregon as millions of people across the western United States are hit by another round of scorching temperatures.
I'm on the west side. With the temperature in the town of Stovepipe Wells in California not falling below 42 degrees overnight, the highest daily minimum ever recorded in the Northern Hemisphere.
We've seen heat waves, right across the world, in fact. Droughts in one location, and because they're all so much more intense, we can see that the atmosphere is energetic and possibly more energetic than we're predicting it in our climate models. And that's the thing that is really worrying.
Tonight in Oregon, the largest wildfire in the country exploding in size. The fire in Oregon, just one of 70 wildfires raging across 12 states.
The Bootleg fire is now 7 times the size of San Francisco.
Flash flooding is threatening millions of people. Just look at Newark, New Jersey today after storms rolled through there. And the West cannot catch a break.
The Tamarack fire in Northern California grew exponentially overnight.
Smoke from that fire in Oregon now clouding the skies over Utah. Extreme conditions leading to extreme concern.
Pushing these fires are back-to-back heat waves. This one is the 4th in 5 weeks.
And devastating the coastline with hundreds of millions of mussels literally cooked alive. An event so extreme, but with more than twice as much scorched earth compared to this same time last year. Tonight, a record already on track to be broken. Massive amounts of dead fish are washing ashore all across Tampa Bay. Beaches are closed. Crews are racing to clean up the smelly, decaying bodies of fish. Local experts say it's early in the season to see concentrations of red tide this high.
The images here are astonishing. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dead fish floating in the water.
These massive fish kills continue to be a major problem in the Bay Area.
The city says the massive amounts of dead fish started washing up in St. Pete waterways about 10 days ago. But emergency officials say in the last 24 hours, they've cleaned up more dead fish than in the past week.
Dead fish littering the shorelines across Tampa Bay.
I've been coming here for 10 years. I mean, this is worst it's ever been.
Bait fish, sport fish, stingrays, even dolphins and manatees, all killed by red tide and piling up.
It's being described as disturbing, sickening, and rancid. People across 2 counties say they can't believe their eyes or their noses for that matter. KDK's Megan Schiller reports from Upper St. Clair to explain why there's now an active investigation into thousands of dead fish.
There's no sheen on it, you know.
Jack Conroy walks this trail every day, but he's never seen this.
I see 1 dead fish, 2 dead fish, and I'm like, Then all of a sudden, there were dead fish everywhere. Just every fish in that creek was dead.
Big fish, small fish.
But at this point, we don't exactly know what's going on.
You smell that?
Andre Holmes smelled it before he saw it. Hundreds of dead fish dumping out of Chartiers Creek into the Ohio, 15 miles north in McKees Rocks.
I've never seen anything like that outside of a horror movie. You know, I was like, okay, Stephen King type of stuff here.
But it's not fiction. And the reality is the damage is done.
I'm not an expert, so I'm not trying to pretend to be one, but I've been around the water long enough to know that, okay, this is not a natural occurrence.
So let's just take a look at the last few weeks in North America, shall we? British Columbia is dealing with 300 forest fires with no end in sight. Las Vegas just this past weekend tied an all-time record high, 47 degrees. And Death Valley National Park, located right along the border of California and Nevada, hit 54 degrees Saturday, which was very close to setting a record for the hottest temperature ever recorded by humans. But let me help them with one simple thing. The evidence around us is indisputable.
We've seen this relatively frequently in the past years. Is it getting worse as the years go on, or is that just perception?
Well, it kind of seems like it is getting worse. You know, the number of fires that we are responding to is clearly growing.
Fueling a mega drought that has turned swathes of the U.S. into a tinderbox.
There's a tornado right there. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Barrie police are calling the damage catastrophic after a tornado ripped through the region.
And the region's recent heat wave has literally cooked them alive.
It's never smelled like this. Never smelled like this before.
British Columbia's aquaculture industry depends largely on the region's mild climate. That is changing. Farming families who have thrived here for generations are now worried about the future.
This used to be alive. Now there's nothing. Most of the mussels around here now are all gone. My clams, you can see the sand dollars and stuff, are all dead.
The mass die-off illustrates the impact of climate change here and now.
We knew the heat might have been bad, but we weren't expecting to see what we saw, or what we are seeing.
And Western Canada's recent record-breaking heat may be a harbinger of things to come.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High, the God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in honor of his only begotten, first begotten born son, the sinless one, our holy Messiah, Hamashiach, and my Nehemiah in the building. All praises, glory, and honor to the Heavenly Father. Good to see y'all beautiful people in the building once again. Y'all see the title, Nazarene edition, part 12, a rock of, and let me get the word right, a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Dealing with our holy Messiah. All right? A stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Specifically amongst the nation of Israel. You understand? So y'all climb on in. I want to show y'all that real quick. Shalom, double shalom to everybody in the chat. Good to see y'all in the building. Double shout out, major shout out to the Heavenly Father. His firstborn, beloved son, the firstborn of all creation, the elect angels, whether you be friend or foe. Shalom, shalom. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers as well. We love y'all too. Right on for the promo. Right on for the promotion. Nehemiah in the building. Where you at, Op? Come express yourself. Talk to me.
I'm right here, bro. Yeah, just sitting here looking at this double monitor. I got you on the big TV and I'm looking at you on the computer.
Hey, man, you know, I mean, be good to see your face, man. What's going on with you, man? You in Kai Hebrew. What's going on with you?
I know, man. I ain't going in the front room, man. I'm in the bed.
All right. I got you. Yeah. Go ahead and invite the young hitter on, too.
Sit here and relax a taste. I can kick on back after work, shirt off, and relax.
Yeah. You in your zone then. I ain't mad at you, brother.
Yeah, got home, did a little work around here, and everything's just waiting for a little meal and call it a day, buns.
Hallelujah. Hey, but look, we I'm just not getting back in town. Not today, but yesterday evening. Praise the glory now to the Most High, and we putting a few things together for the nation. All right, putting a few things together for the nation for those who are resourceful in these hours. We connected with a family that's willing to. They got 14 acres, but they're willing to use our organization and our ingenuity to go ahead and start yielding a lot of crops for this up and coming food shortage that's coming. So hallelujah, we got a situation where we got access to millions of gallons of alkaline water as well. So we've been out, putting the right people in position, setting up certain networks. The name of our situation is called the Black Messiah Project, or you may hear us say the Risen Black Messiah Project. If you look at the thumbnails, it's on the actual videos we've been doing as of late. You'll see. All right, that's something that we've been doing. We've been speaking about this for the past 4 to 5 years, and it's just now starting to fruition. All right, and we got to tell the family's an Israelite family. They had been jammed up by one of these famous elders in Israel, and we just have to let them know, like, look, we don't want your land or nothing like that, but what we want to do is coordinate. Since y'all got the resources, we want to start coordinating with our people, because look, when this so-called food shortage hit, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major league problem. And that's just one family. We got like 20 more families with farms that's willing to go ahead and use their farms and their so-called growing skills to make sure the nation of Israel eat. All right. I mean, we're gonna come through and of course, provide whatever resources they need to help them go ahead and start growing. But this family just closed on their farm in May. They put their first seeds in the ground in June, and man, that garden already popped. All right, that's that Georgia red clay down there, man. That deal popping. We're gonna go ahead and put a few things together with them. We got a few greenhouses because we want to be able to grow year round. We don't got to be in competition with any grocery stores because this is about feeding, for one, their family that's there. But then once their family is fed, we're dealing with them. That 14-acre farm will be able to feed a fraction of the nation. And then once we bring everybody else together, also we'll be going to Michigan, up in the Detroit area, up by the Great Lakes. Supposed to be going up there in about 2 weeks. And we just closed a deal with a brother that's has his own sovereign land, but man, he pumps, like I say, millions of gallons of water. The land is actually sovereign. He got the paperwork for it. It's crazy because the land was owned by a native sister, a real indigenous sister, darker than Nehemiah. She died at 104 years old. You understand?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, she lived to be 104 years old. So the brother that owns the land right now, she made him promise that he would never deal with no heathens. Deal with some young black men that's really about liberating their people. You understand? So we got access to millions of gallons of water. We're going to shoot 1,000 gallons of water over the Flint in about 2 weeks. You know, so we out here working, you know, because with us, it's about liberation of death, man. There ain't no reason to be playing around out here. That's really why I really don't got no time to be arguing with any of the naysayers. You know what I mean? I can just tell them right on for the promo, because the more that our names in their mouths, the more people come over to Honor and Humility and at least get to checking out what we're talking about. And again, if y'all want to filter through the noise, rest well, knowing that we're not speaking any sin to anybody or teaching our people to sin. We're challenging our people to level up. All right, put down what's killing you: the flesh, the smoke, and the strong drink. And you got provisions, depending on who you're talking to, you got provisions for all of it in the Bible. Now, me and you, certain scriptures justify smoking weed or smoking cigarettes or black and milds, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of men are obsessed with us right now. But they'll be all right. The truth gonna come out like a flood. I just hope those men can swim, because this ain't a sprint. You understand? It is a marathon, though, and we will never stop until the Most High decide to remove our breath from our lungs. Until then, you got to deal with this truth. We're going to be staring you right in your face. We're going to punch you right in your mouth with this truth, unapologetically. Whoever don't like it, hey, I'm offended. Good. Good. And then maybe you can go ahead and start challenging yourself to be better. All right? Other than that, we're into teaching, healing, and liberating our people, y'all. It's liberation of death. I really don't got no time to be playing with nobody, because they're mad at the new direction that Honor and Humility is taking. That's what we're taking. We unapologetic about it. The Most High inspired us, put it on our spirit to come on out with it. And who better, though? You know what I mean? Some people can't stand pressure or can't stand to be the topic of ridicule. Look, I sleep well at night. And I sit good in what they call the hot seat. You know why? Because my God, my power sits on the throne of fire. I ain't got no problem sitting in what they call the hot seat at all. All right? So all praises, glory, and honor to the Almighty. Abundant blessings to y'all all. Peace, love, light, and healing to the Israelite family. Israelite by blood, Nazarene by faith. And yes, we follow the Messiah, who was born in Bethlehem but raised in Nazareth, all right, who was called a Nazarene in Matthew the 2nd chapter. And we're going to be unapologetic about it. All right, so look, y'all, if this sounds like something that y'all into, such as us linking all our people together, because we building a database, we putting the whole web together. You understand? That way this thing can run even if Malachi ain't around. Even if Nehemiah ain't around, you'll know how to reach out to your people. You understand? And say, hey, we need 50 watermelons over this way. I mean, we hear y'all need, you know, what y'all need down there. We can supply that. We got the right brothers in place too, dealing with the transportation, the trucks. You know, we got a situation where we trying to figure out if we gonna lease this truck or we gonna go ahead and just flat out buy it. Because we gonna need the trucks moving too, to transport these gallons of water and all this produce. And you understand? So these are things that we are that we are doing right now. Again, a lot of men been trying to tag me in certain things, and you know, if it's a sincere question, I really ain't got no problem answering anything. I wouldn't have came outside with any of this if I wasn't ready. I wouldn't have came out shooting if I wasn't ready. But you know, it's certain men that ask questions because they just obsessed. And they're actually a man. Look, and they posting a lot of my old stuff. I said, yeah, good. I'm not taking none of my old stuff down. You know why?
No, I mean, because at that time you was on what you was on, bro. And ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? You was growing. And like I said, you know, many of the challenges we done dealt with over the years, bro. I'm talking about we done had Egyptologists, Yahweh ben Yahweh. We done had multiple people sit in our classes. And we stood toe to toe and said, if you can prove your doctrine, we'll leave our doctrine alone. Even to this, same thing. Nobody has stood toe to toe and came with nothing, bro. You see what I'm saying? Because what you have to do in order to make it right is you have to take out the alpha diet, that's what I call it, Genesis 1:29, and then you have to get rid of the omega diet, which is Revelations 22. You see what I'm saying? You have to get rid of those diets. And it's crazy that we going back to that. And the whole time in the middle, we supposed to be practicing holy, righteous acts, right? So if we say that God is not the author of confusion, we go to Malachi, say he changed not, then you should raise the question is why we at Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14? Well, we can answer because we can go in there and show the line pen of the scribes. We can show you prophets that said we never even taught you that or you was never given that. You know what I'm saying? But those naysayers can't say that. They can't say what God was going off or that was wrong that he gave you in Genesis. That's wrong with Christ gave you in Revelation. They can't do that. See, we can justify and prove the situation easily. They can't do that in a reverse manner. You see what I'm saying? And if God changes not, then what was added? And then we can't act like that ain't what happened because we can look and see that situation with Moses. I know I go back there, but it's to show that Moses added to the Torah. You see what I'm saying? In the beginning, it was not so for you to put your wife away, right? Then Christ reiterated, we said, why did Moses? Well, because the hardening of your heart, he suffered you that. So Moses added Deuteronomy 24 because of the Negro was mad at his woman. You see what I'm saying? So we can't act like that ain't happened because we can see the pattern, right? So once we understand that, bro, we have to reevaluate everything. I mean, wisdom would tell you to do so. And again, what are you mad about? Because we want to do what God gave us first, and we want to do what comes in the kingdom next. So we shouldn't practice that while we're here. All you cats want to practice every feast day. Y'all been doing that wrong since day one. Ain't none of y'all kept the feast perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So I can see why naysayers go against y'all. Man, look this. Oh my God, bro. The non-messianics is mad about this. The messianics are mad about this. The flat earthers and round earthers are mad about this. You hear what I'm saying? The Shabbat that goes from month to month and change every month are mad about this. The dark moon, full moon Negroes are mad about this. Bro, even today, I just found out because they putting videos up and I talked to the brother, no shots, but we understand tough skin, but we can talk, our talk will be true. You know what I'm saying? Because he going to preach what he going to preach. But not even those who don't keep the Sabbath and no feast days are talking about this. That's how you know this is on point. Because these are all the people and groups and fashions and sections that rose up against Hamashiach when he brought this deeper spiritual understanding. They would have been mad at Christ. What you mean we can't put our wife away? What you mean I can't take that man 50 shekels and get the little girl I want? You see what I'm saying? Bro, now everybody has come. Bro, even the ops of ops have come together and talked to each other. Man, these guys talking about no smoking no meat, man. We can't get high no more. We can't eat meat. And we can't drink strong drink no more. Yeah, man, I challenge you to be better. So that's how, I know, like you said, bro, this ain't even. And then they talk about when these niggas falling off, they going off, the great falling away. Well, one thing about anything, when somebody falls off in this truth, you don't see them no more. Brother, we in y'all face. All day, every day like that. Standing 10 toes down, 2 guns up. 4 tribe in the earth. Now who want what? We outside, baby. Those who fell off, and we got names and we can tell you people who fell off, you don't even see them no more. It's a careless whisper. But we are still here in your face all day with it. Because this ain't nothing new. We just the right ones to tell you the truth. And they big mad, bro. When everybody mad, that's how you know you got to be on point. Listen, this ain't never been about the quality. The quantity. It's always been about the quality. You see what I'm saying? The Most High wants quality. So if you can't sit here and deal with that with the Most High face to face, then you just mad, bro. Because you want your temple to be like the temple that God intended, right? So if you ain't bringing meat to the temple no more, if you ain't bringing blood and offerings and all that to the temple no more, then why are you defiling your physical temple, which is the spiritual temple where the Most High and the Spirit of God supposed to dwell? Why are you doing that? How you sitting here still clowning over a dead priesthood And ain't none of y'all went and got a lamb, checked it for blemishes, kept it for the 10 days, hit it up on the Passover, and then cooked it in your backyard, killed it yourself, and did your duty. Ain't none of y'all did that, bro. Hell, if you go back and read the story, ain't none of y'all ate unleavened bread for 7 days. I'm just putting it out there. You quick to run the Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? So, bro.
We know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't hear none of you cats, bro. Because at the end of the day, when you get through and you get through and you get through, did I mention you get through and you get through, that meat and that drink and that getting high is killing you, bro. That's it. So that's all I had to say, brother. Let's get started.
Yeah, bro. Hey, look. You know, when Nehemiah get to spit, he get the going. He like a Tommy gun, a machine gun. But yeah, definitely felt, bro, words of wisdom. All right, and but no, it's all good. And Elder used to tell me back in the day. If you ain't got no enemies, you doing something wrong. Why? Because the man we call the Messiah had all the enemies. All the ops was against him. All right. And again, filter through the noise, y'all. It'd be different. It'd be different if, you know, we was telling you, hey man, go get you a prostitute. You ain't gotta talk things out with your woman. You know, man, if I was you, I'll whoop the wig off her head. She over here trick. It'd be different if we were telling you to sin or something. We actually are challenging you to be better. You understand? The Most High wants to deal with his people on a greater level. Right? It's time to purge and cleanse his temple. Let it go. Let it go. And in these last days, knowledge has been increased. We know what's killing our people. You may not know because, you know, the cats is putting their mouth against us. The cats is putting their mouth against us. They not healers. They don't got one healing testimony. Not one. So, I mean, the man that has the experience is not at mercy to the man with a theory. Those guys are dealing in theory, theoreticals. We're dealing in facts. We know exactly what is plaguing the nation of Israel. So once we bring that out, then the brother be like, oh man, I'm perfectly healthy. Here you go thinking about yourself. This ain't about you. It's bigger than you. It's about the nation. And we're going to bring a few things out today. All praise the glory. I see young Yeshua, the young sniper in the back chat. Let me add him on in. Young Yeshua, the young sniper in the back chat. Shalom, peace, love, light, and healing to you, my brother. Hallelujah. I'm going to mute my mic a little bit. Go ahead and tell us how you feel.
Hallelujah. Blessings and peace be unto you. Peace be unto you too, Nehemiah. Hey, peace be unto the family.
Shalom, young sniper.
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. Yeah, man. I've been seeing. I woke up in the morning seeing the hype or whatever. Brothers making videos and doing all that stuff. But hey, all praises, man. All praises that we be able to live this life. You know, we be able to walk in this battle. You know, with no we not scarred at all. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I ain't really got much to say, but yeah, just stay faithful. Everybody stay faithful to the calling. Don't let nobody get in your ear trying to take you away from what's right. Listen to the voice of God that tells you in your head that what is right and what you're supposed to be doing, what's holy. You know what I'm saying? Don't let no man dictate what's holy for you. You know what I'm saying? Listen to their voice. It's going to tell you what's holy. It's going to tell you what's right. So blessings and peace be unto everybody that's on the chat. I'm glad to be in the building. Glad to see my people. Glad to see my brothers. Don't stop till you eat now.
Can I say something real quick, man? We got a brother, my brother Akrod on here, asking, is there any Israelites in Birmingham, Alabama? He got a sister down there that want a fellowship. So if there's anybody want to throw a suggestion, text me or hit me up or email me. My email is always in the description. If you don't have my direct contact, I'm very accessible. So if you have anybody in Birmingham, Alabama, that a sister can fellowship with, Akrod had just text me that question. All right, Maddie, go ahead, bro.
Well, all praises, glory now to the Almighty. Yeah, I believe the Aki Yeshaya, Print Blake and them down in Alabama. I believe Birmingham, Alabama. I believe so. Print Blake, if you're listening, Yeshaya, y'all make the proper connections and handle that business. All right. First scripture I want to go to y'all is Isaiah the 8th chapter. Let's pull that on up real quick. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and drop these clips.
Rock of offense, baby.
Yeah, you know, and for everybody that's against what it is, again, we can't express it enough. Hey, look, we love y'all too. It is weird though. It is weird to be obsessed with a man as much as y'all like this. I've never seen this before in my life. And I know all these men disagree. So guess what? It must be hooks in their jaws. The Most High talk about putting the hooks in men's jaws in the book of Ezekiel. Mute your mic if you can, you sure. The Most High talks about putting the hooks in men's jaws in the book of Ezekiel. All right, and that's what this must be. All right, and when a hook is in the jaw of a fish, that fish can squirm, it can kick, it can get mad. Guess what reality that fish got to deal with? You understand? That fish caught, and on the real, these men took the bait. We came right on out with that hammer and said, "What's up? This is what it is. This is what we gonna say. We gonna challenge you to do this." All right. And based off what we've said, based off what we brought out, these men are acting like fish on the hook. That hook got him. That hook got him. You understand? And look, again, I'm not taking out any old video that I've ever done. Y'all been teaching for 17 years. At least 2 videos a week. At least. So if we just do 2 videos a week, and it's 52 weeks in 1 year, do the math. That's over 100 videos in 1 year, and you got to times that by 17. Thousands of videos up online. Now, can I say the same about the next person? Even if it wasn't 1,000, do you got enough videos up to where I can just go through, run through your whole catalog and scrutinize you going back for years? Look, nobody should be the same man or woman from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We should see growth. You should be challenging the things that you're being taught. You should be known as a what they call a messiah, a male factor, or a troublemaker, what they call us today, rebel rousers. I'm at Hebrew that kicked the hornet's nest. On disturb something around here. We should be like that. We should be like that. You should be challenging, because this first scripture we're going to go to shows you the spirit of your Messiah. All right? He was very much a stumbling stone and a rock of offense. It's obvious he was a threat, and they had him murdered. All right, that means it wasn't all about the go along to get along. It wasn't about the Ned Flanders. It wasn't about the dilly do neighbor. All right, and y'all, they was all teaching the same thing. Why did he have so much opposition? Why was there so much opposition amongst the men who had more numbers than him, and the men that were sitting in Moses' seat? Why was there so much opposition if everybody was teaching the same thing? They weren't teaching the same thing. Why was there so much opposition if they all looked at the Torah, the Hatawara, the same way? Obviously, they did. And see, this is what a lot of our people are afraid to bring up. They rather run through dry Torah portions, the same Torah portions as the Ashkenazi Jews, every Shabbat. Real slow. Real slow. You understand? But the spirit of the Most High is quick. It gives life. The voice of the Most High gives you all the confirmation you need. You don't need a million precepts before you take your next step. What the Messiah taught and what the new covenant is teaching and conveying is for you to go and sin no more. Meaning be obedient. And if you're being obedient, that means you're not sacrificing. There's no need to sacrifice if you just simply obey the Almighty. The very phrase that says go and sin no more, y'all, is very revolutionary. Because if you're not sinning, If you're not sinning, you're not bringing no type of offerings to no Levitical priest to cover or get rid of your sins. And if you ain't got the sacrifices, guess what? You had to go buy it from him. It's very revolutionary. It's very revolutionary to say the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. What house you gonna build me? Most I don't dwell in temples made with men's hands. Here us Israelites go and say, oh, that's talking about the Christian church. No. Isaiah is saying this while the temple is standing. That very building you believe is the Most High's house ain't his house. The heavens of heavens can't contain him. What these men were teaching and preaching was totally against the status quo. Very revolutionary. Things that'll get you stoned. Things that'll get you killed. Things that'll get you called a heretic. You wonder why? Because what the Messiah represented was total opposition to what was going on in what you call that temple. Total opposition. Y'all, if you're obeying, you're not sinning. If you're not sinning, you're not killing any animals. If you're not killing any animals, there is no sacrifice and no chewing on. If you understand through the testimony of a Mashiach that building ain't the temple, you are. This is where the Most High meets with you in the Holy of Holies. Right over the mercy seat. Right up in here is where the Most High meets with every man. Once you understand that, you're not dependent on a building anymore, nor the priests administering in that building anymore. The entire system was imposed on them until the time of Reformation. The Most High never wanted it anyway. Never wanted it. He wants your obedience. That's what you owe the Most High. You owe him your obedience. That's what you owe him. All right? And once we obey, once we go and sin no more, then y'all, guess what? There's no more need for a physical temple. There's no more need for any sacrifices. There's no more need for any Levitical priests. There's no need for any Millie Mouth Negro tell you today, I'm the chief ruling priest. And according to the Most High, I have an advantage over you all. I have an advantage over you all when it comes down to the laws. Now, they ain't get the memo. You 2,000 years late, buddy. You 2,000 years late. The only order that the Messiah is backing is the order of Melchizedek or Mikha'el. That's it. There's no need for anything else. Whether you talking about covering sins or offering up animals for the remission of sins or rebuilding any temple, rebuilding altars, killing animals on the altar, ain't no need for any of it. Yeah, the Messiah's teachings were so revolutionary and so against the status quo, y'all. It represents everything that's against the temple, y'all, that's been destroyed since 70 CE. And so in essence, a lot of men are arguing over something that the Messiah prophesied would come down. Even when he expired on the execution stake, what happened with the temple? For one, there was an earthquake, and two, that veil in the temple ripped in half. That veil only that Levitical priest went behind once a year. I don't need a million precepts to validate that. That's the truth. See, come on into the brotherhood of a Mashiach. That's what time it is, man. Come on into the brotherhood of Mashiach. All right, there's no need to be a dry eyes, brother. Dry eyes. You constantly pouring over the same thing, and you praying like this, like the so-called Ashkenazi Jews at the Wailing Wall. And nah. Messiah was against every last bit of it. All right, the first scripture we're going to go to. We're going to go to Isaiah, the 8th chapter. All right. And we're going to read verse 13. 13 through 17. Hallelujah. All right. Let's go ahead and get her done. Let me share my screen real quick.
Yeah, you know, while you putting that screen up, man, it's crazy, right? Because like the first thing that have to be reinstituted is the red heifer when they build third temple. You see what I'm saying? And what do the Antichrist and that temple bring back first? The sacrifice.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Why is that? If Christ dropped that temple and took away that priesthood to establish the Melchizedek priesthood, why do they have to bring that back first? That should make you think by itself.
That's what I'm saying. And then when this Israelite temple coming into play, because the imposters about to build theirs, and they about to, everything you reading about Leviticus, they about to start that right on back up. All right, so when that happens? So when you Israelites gonna be over in Jerusalem sacrificing in the temple on the altar with the sons of Zadok and the prince of Jerusalem? When this supposed to take place?
Hey, and they better go, since they so faithful in the Levitical priesthood.
Let's get her done, my brothers. Isaiah 8, we're gonna read verse 13 through 17. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You got it. Go ahead, just so I'll mute.
I bet. That's cool. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 13. Sanctify Yahweh of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread.
Come on.
And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and a rock, and for a rock of offense to both the house of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this? That's the spirit. That's the spirit that the Messiah came in right there. He is sanctuary to the believers. Sanctuaries are in the temple. He's the sanctuary. But he's a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, and for a gin and a snare, a trap to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. If the Messiah was walking this earth right now, robed, if he was walking this earth right now, if he was doing his ministry right now in this earth amongst you Israelites, guess what he would be? A stone of stumbling and a rock of offense.
You can see
right?
it.
And a gin and a snare. You see, meaning, guess what? The very Israelites, you feel me, mixed with the so-called imposters back then that was against him, will be the very ones against him today. Period. Period. It wasn't about being the most likable Israelite. It ain't like that now. We look, brother, I'm offended. Good. Good. It'd be different if you was offended. If you was offended because we sinned against you. If you offended because we gonna straight tell you flat out, hey, stop eating that, drinking that, and smoking that. All right? There's contradictions in what you call the Bible. All you can do is choose what side you on. That's just the truth. Now you can spend your time spending your tires in the mud trying to make a blood, a crip, or apple, or orange all you want. It's things that don't harmonize. All right? For instance, the order of Melchizedek and the order of Aaron do not harmonize. It don't harmonize. You got to decide what priesthood you are up under. And what kingdom you fighting for, a sinful kingdom or a sinless kingdom. The Messiah is a rock of offense and a stone of stumbling for both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a trap, a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, right? What does it say, verse 15?
And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken.
Y'all heard this? Many gonna stumble and fall and be broken and be trapped and taken. That's the spirit the Messiah came in. It wasn't about being the most like Israelite. It wasn't even about having the most numbers. The Messiah was a liberator. To liberate you not only from your physical enemies, but from your spiritual enemy, the devil. For this purpose was the Son of God revealed, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And if you in him, you don't sin. And you can't sin because what? The seed of the Most High remain in you. Our job is to challenge you to push on toward perfection. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Here we dealing with sin offerings and burnt offerings for. It can't make you perfect as pertaining to the conscience. The Levitical priesthood and the Messiah's priesthood does not harmonize. It's in direct contradiction with one another. It's in direct conflict with one another. Light can't dwell with darkness. All right? Because the Messiah is a
stone of stumbling and a rock of offense and a trap to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Many amongst Jerusalem gonna stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. How we know this is a prophecy dealing with Hamashiach? Verse 16, huh?
My favorite. It say, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples.
Seal the law among my disciples, my taught ones. All right? Y'all, that ain't dealing with the law of, oh, well, if you fall on hard times, you can sell your daughter. That ain't dealing with the law of, you can go ahead and, buy a Hebrew slave. There are laws in the Torah written against you for rebellion. We've been going over that. And then there are laws that are the covenant laws, written with the finger of the Heavenly Father, placed on the inside of the Ark of the Covenant, not beside the Ark of the Covenant. Placed on the inside of the Ark of the Covenant where manna is, the true food, angels' food, and where Aaron's rod, a rod is made out of wood. And it still had life because it was budding. Now, how does a branch cut off from its root still bud? It's in the same Ark of the Covenant that the laws of the Most High written with his finger are in. You see that? Where life is at. He's not talking about any of these dead laws that you're not bound to. Either we talking about the law of life or the law of death. Read that verse 17, huh?
And I will wait upon Yahweh that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him.
What verse 18 say?
Behold, I and the children whom Yahweh hath given me are for signs and for wonders. And let me read that again. It say, behold, I and the children upon Yahweh, and the children whom Yahweh hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel, from Yahweh of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion.
Y'all see that right there? That's the Messiah speaking through the prophet Isaiah. That's a Mashiach speaking through the prophet Isaiah. You see? And that's the spirit he came in. All right? So there are going to be many people offended. There are going to be many people offended in this hour. Y'all, it's okay. It's okay. You understand? We expect that. All right, but we the ones to embrace it at every turn, at every angle. All right? And for anybody to claim that we've fallen off, just stay tuned. If we fall off, y'all, that means the Most High took his spirit from us. That means we ain't got nothing else to teach about. That means, guess what? Ain't going to be no more community work, no more videos, no more liberating the people, no more teaching, no more anything. Because you can't, because if the Most High removes his spirit, it's like him putting your lights out. How you going to teach light and you ain't got no light? Y'all, we just warming up. Ain't no we didn't fell off. We feel good. And we're thankful to the Most High for allowing us to stand up bold in this hour and to challenge our people to be better. Again, we can't command anybody. All right? But when we speak, we're going to speak under utterance and unction of the Holy Spirit, regardless if you like it or not. All right? We can't command you, but we can exhort you, meaning encourage you or challenge you to be better. Stop eating that, sister. Stop smoking that. Stop drinking that. This is the Most High's temple. This is his dwelling. You wonder why you ain't cast out one demon, why you ain't laid hands on one person and commanded a healing. Are we really doing or keeping the commands that Mashiach commanded us to keep? You pouring over Torah portions. I'm like, we need to go over there and cast that spirit up off them brothers and sisters. You pouring over and going over slow, dry Torah portions that the Ashkenazi Jews going over the exact same lesson every week when we need to be out here feeding and liberating the people. Doing what a Mashiach was doing. All right? So y'all, time to tell if we done fell off, we gonna see. We gonna see. I just hope a lot of the naysayers can swim. All right, because the truth is gonna come out like a flood.
in these last hours. Y'all got something to say, my brother?
Nah, I had a parable, but I'm gonna leave that for the end of the class, though.
Okay. Hey, the young sniper coming out with the parables. All right, young sniper coming out with the parables. Next scripture we're gonna go to is 1 John. 1 John chapter 3. All right, 1 John chapter 3. All right, y'all, this is about the level up. That's what it's about. Level up. All right. Somebody ain't teaching you. If look, whoever, if they not pointing you back to paradise, it's time to run. Get up out of there.
Pointing you back to a dead priesthood that has no benefits. And look, who you gonna point to lead you? So I'm saying, man, y'all don't even realize y'all are the very people that will be arguing with Hamashiach, because guess what? Hamashiach wouldn't be speaking with agreement to the current Torah that you have. So you would be mad at him like you mad at us. Why? Because we're telling you something that's deeper than you would ever had saw before. And listen, even though, you know, and don't act like y'all don't look at other books. Y'all read the pseudepigraphers all the time, don't even know what the word pseudo means.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But the whole thing is this, y'all. Everything we've been bringing y'all mainly is out of the already given, read, and understood King James Version. And then we could precept something out of another book. But listen, go back to ever since this thing started. You will see an over amount of evidence brought out of the Bible that you hold in your hand to this day. Or an app on your phone. So I don't know what you're mad about. You can't unwritten what's been written. But see, the whole thing is, we're young, Yeshua was talking about parables, right? Christ spoke in parables. To us, we seem like we can clearly understand that. But to them who heard it, they couldn't understand. So just like how you read the Bible, it's written the same way. You read it, but don't even understand it. Don't even see the deeper parables written therein.
Yeah, because they stuck on the outer teachings.
Outer cup teachings.
Yeah, because you got the inner teachings, which like even with the Messiah, when he told his students asked like, why you speaking in parables all the time? He like, look, what you can understand, not everybody can understand. So it's like people be focused on the outer teachings, but they don't understand the inner teachings. You know, they go on what Christ said about like outward things and stuff like that, but the inward things they ain't really privy to. So, you know, they gotta catch up.
Right, no doubt. And you know, that take for us not to get pompous or proud as well. All right. We understand a lot of us ain't dealing with the same information. There are inner teachings. We're gonna go over some of that today after the gospel of the Nazarenes. A question was asked to Hamashiach after he resurrected, before he ascended. What is truth? We're gonna read that today. Ooh, that. You understand? And these things, if you can receive them, right, they nourish your soul. You understand? It feels beyond great. You know, and look, we as your brothers gonna share it with you. Like if you can receive it. We're gonna share these things with you constantly. It's so much to where that's why I said it's a marathon. This ain't no sprint. All right, we're gonna see who's still around when the dust settles. All right, so all praise and glory now to the Most High. 1 John 3:1, Nehemiah, if you can, my brother, let's get to this 1 John 3. Children of Yahweh, love one another. All right, Ema said she's read that the other day.
The Spirit.
You ready?
Yeah, let's get her done, brother.
All right, verse 1. Behold, one manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Elohim. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
I heard that right there. Y'all heard that? Right, the first blessing of the Almighty. If you learn to read behind what you read in Genesis, the first chapter, y'all, the first blessing of the Most High is actually love. For Most High loved the world that he gave his only begotten
first begotten beloved son. His first blessing is love. Now trip off this. What manner of love Yahweh the Father bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons, B'nai Elohim, the sons of the Most High. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. So we expect men to act a certain way toward us. But look, y'all, we should never allow that to move us up off our spirit or up off our pivot. We should expect the same spirits that rose up against a Mashiach to rise up against us. You should expect that, and you should embrace it wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. All right? There's no need for you to get mad. He tell you actually to jump and rejoice. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. They did the same thing to the prophets. All right? Let's get it, Hebrew.
Verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of Elohim, and it does not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard how powerful it is. He's saying now we are the sons of Elohim. It's just not manifested that we are. It doesn't appear what we shall be. All right? Keep that hope in you. Walk this earth every day knowing you a son and knowing you a daughter of the Most High. That's your divine birthright. It's your divine birthright to become the anointed, to become a Mashiach. You're supposed to be like him. To do what he did. He said it. The works I do, you're going to do, and even greater works, because I go into my Father. How you going to do the greater works or even the works that he did, and you loaded up with dead things? You loaded up with all type of things that defile and destroy the temple of the Almighty. How is that possible? All right? Walk this earth every day. Grace this earth every day, knowing that you are a son of the Most High, knowing that you are a daughter of the Most High, and be unapologetic about it. Y'all, that means this entire earth is yours. All right? Usher in the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. Usher him into your life every day. How you do to open up your mouth and invite him in. Especially once you off that flesh and that smoke and that liquor. You're going to be able to bear witness of the presence of the Almighty within you. You're going to feel him. You're going to feel his presence when you start invoking him or invite them into your dwelling, into his dwelling. This is your house. Live here. It's clean. It's furnished. And the testimony of a Mashiach is exalted here. This is your house. Invite them on in. Y'all, you're going to feel that overwhelming sensation right up in you. You're going to feel his presence. All right? And when you do, make your request known. When you do, lay hands on somebody that's sick and release a massive healing upon them from the fiery throne in heaven. When you're meditating, see yourself doing these things. You understand? You should be meditating. You should be outside meditating, praying. It's time to be on that, y'all. Look, the famine is here. All right? Walk this earth knowing your divine birthright, knowing you a son and a daughter of the Most High. All right? But it's time to, I'm talking about really dedicate these vessels to him. Anything that defileth, anything that decayeth, anything that's destroying you, refuse it up in the temple of the Most High. It can't come in there. Because I know in these last days it's destroying me. Yeah, I may read stories in the Bible about men who were actually partaking in these things. What somebody was doing 5,000 years ago ain't got nothing to do with you today. Nothing to do with you today. Especially when you know even the fish have more arsenic in them than the swine that you can put on your plate. Nuh-uh. Once you know better and you go against the knowledge of righteousness, that's when it becomes sin to you. All right? But we know
that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Hold on to that. All right, where we at? Hebrew verse 3.
And every man that has his hope in him purified himself, even as he is pure.
Even as he is pure. You got that hope in you? You know that you a son or a daughter of the Most High. It just don't appear yet what you gonna be. But you know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, or we shall be, or we shall see him as he is, and you know that, and that's in you, and you hold on to that, you're purified. You're purified. You're purified. Live as God in this earth. Live as God in this earth. Push on toward perfection.
And look, that complete that law that says, be ye perfect, for I am perfect.
That's right. That's right.
And listen, the Bible tells you, go and sin no more. Is that ink on paper, or do you believe?
That's right.
You don't have to walk in sin. The Bible says to see the God be in you, sin does not abound. You don't have to walk in sin. You can set your mind on things high. And you can shoot the devil at every turn, bro. You have the full power within you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't speak life with death inside of you. You feel me?
Absolutely.
You can't. Listen, if you're going to be like him, right, who is living, right, then you can't have death in your gut. Once you're going to bring, listen, Christ destroyed the temple, so no more sacrifices and blood can be put on it. So why do you think you're going to have your spiritual temple, your body, full of rotten flesh when he got rid of the physical temple dealing with rotten flesh?
Absolutely.
It just don't make no sense, y'all. And even when you go back and look at the stories, right? Even when you go back to look at the Joseph story, right? You got the Joseph story. So when the famine was upon us, what we're talking about now, right? When the famine was upon us, then look, we know that Israel and them and all the sons of them were taking care of what? Livestock. They were taking care of sheep and everything, right? So when they went to Egypt to get food, why did they go to Egypt to get food when they could have ate off their livestock? Them animals reproduce. They having babies and animals all day long. They was wealthy in livestock, over wealthy. You see what I'm saying? They could have lived off the livestock. But no, they went to Egypt to get what type of food? Grain. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Make you think. Same thing we sit here and deal with the wilderness. Why are you asking the Most High for meat, right? When you sitting here with all animals around you. Because you knew you shouldn't have been eating it. But see them the deeper parables or the deeper mysteries in the scriptures that you've been reading all this time, but you've been looking past. Why are you asking the Lord to give you meat and you got meat with you? Why is Joseph and them worrying about a famine when they got flocks upon flocks upon flocks? And then when they go to Egypt, they didn't go in there and get more flocks and more meat. They went and got what? Grain. But see, y'all don't see them deep mysteries. Because y'all just like to see what you want to see. But I see it, bro. Just like I say, well, God gave them coats of skin. God had to kill an animal to give Adam and them skin. Wait a minute. The power of all powers that made everything out of nothing. Got to go kill something. He made man out the dust of the earth, right? He created all the animals, the earth, the water, the firmament, everything visible and invisible, seen and not seen. He made Hamashiach out the gate. You see what I'm saying? But all of a sudden, the Lord got to go chase down the animal, throw a spear or something in him, shoot him with an arrow, gut him open, dry him out, and then got to let the leather dry out so you can put it around Adam and them. It takes a long time to kill an animal and make his skin ready for clothing. I guess God had to overnight express that. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Matter, am I tripping or do it make sense? We can't hear you. I think you got your mic muted, or you do. But yeah, man, just that part, man. But I'm ready to read when you want. But look, y'all, these people don't even see the deeper mysteries, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like God had to go chase down the animal, kill the animal, gut the animal, get rid of the innards, right? And then cure the skin in order to be made for clothes. Then he had to stitch the clothes up. He had to go get a tailor and size Adam and Eve up to make sure the clothes fit right, and then put it on them. That don't make no sense, y'all. The God of all power created heaven and earth by a thought. So you tell me you can't say, I need clothes, and they pop right up. I'm just shooting that out there, bro. You know, it kind of remind me of that movie, what was that with the black dude that played God, and they had that little funny white boy in there. I can't think of these people's name. I don't be paying these people no attention. And he had let him be God for a day. The little funny white boy. He used to play in Living Color. Anyway.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah, he let him be God, and he had changed his clothes by holding his hands out, and clothes changed on him. Like God can't power like that. I'm just saying, man. Make it make sense.
Yeah, the Most High is the Most High, man. But look, what you realize is a lot of people are saying
Bruce Almighty
they act because they're in it. They've been in agreement with that lust for so long. When somebody come around and be like, "Hey, look, stop that. I love you enough to tell you, look, man, you done chose the way of death. Choose life." You know what I mean? Now you a heretic. Okay, I can be out there. I have no problem with being a rock of offense and a stone of stumbling, or a stone of offense and a rock of stumbling. I have no problem being called by none of these men and women. You understand? Opposite than a righteous man of the Most High. I don't care nothing about that. Handle your business. Put up more Mikha'el videos. It ain't doing nothing but showing growth. And it's also, you guess what it's going to do? Make those who are on the fence come and check us out. Good looking. All right, Hebrew, let's get it. Verse 4.
Whosoever committed sin transgress also the law.
Come on.
For sin is transgression of the law.
Yeah, I can hear it, brother. Now, boom, right there. Boom. See, boom. All right. And you're not even understanding there's two Torahs in the Bible that you have. There's one of life and one of death. All right. Sin is the breaking of the law. What law? All right. Hold there. Let me show y'all something. There's another aspect of sin real quick. Go to the book of James real quick. We'll come right back here. James 4. All right. Sinning ain't just violating what's written down. Dang, see, Malachi always going further than here he go again. They probably gonna make a clip out of this one. Sin is not just violating what's written down in your Torah. All right? There's a higher understanding to sin. There's a higher understanding to the laws that you receive. All right, there are inner teachings.
Many different levels.
Read that for me, Nehemiah. We'll jump right back, or you show or whoever, and then we're gonna jump back to 1 John 3. Go ahead.
Verse 17, James 4. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
Y'all hear this? Once you receive the knowledge of doing good or doing righteousness and you go against that, that becomes sin to you. To him, it is sin. In other words, once you know better and don't do better, you choose to act opposite of what the Most High is saying to you. Y'all, that's sin. That's sin. That's sin. Sin is not just violating what's written down. You know why? Because men can manipulate that.
Technically,
men can say, well, it ain't written down nowhere. That's a sin, so it ain't a sin. The whole time you're going against the voice of the Most High. And that voice is telling you, stop that. Don't do that. For example, it's not written down anywhere that being a cannibal, chewing on the flesh of humans, is sinful. Nowhere. But are you really going to tell me? Are you really going to tell me that what Jeffrey Dahmer and Hannibal Lecter, those men being cannibals, are you really going to tell me that's not sinful behavior? Chewing on the flesh of humans. How many of us can come out and straight say, hey, being a cannibal is a sin?
And I'm
I'm
gonna
about
say
to make a
it while
Facebook.
somebody tell me chapter and verse, precepts. Through the precepts, I get understanding. Well, what precepts and understanding show you that chewing on humans is a sin? Oh, it ain't nan, huh? Oh, well, you can't even call it a sin. I can. Because the Spirit of the Most High told me it's wrong. The voice of the Most High then already told me that's wrong. It's wrong to do that. So once you receive instruction from the voice of the Almighty that man can't tamper with, and you go against that, to you that it becomes sin at that point. Because you know better, you still refuse to do better. If that makes sense, y'all give me a 9 up in the chat. I don't want to lose nobody.
Verbal.
I don't want to lose nobody.
Hey, Hebrews, my family having a heated conversation. Not heated, but they just talking about like the food shortage, talking about like all stuff, just trying to get prepared for what's to come or whatever. But I love when they had these talks and stuff like that. But which I was out there. But hey, look, all praises, bro.
All praise to the Most High. Everything that is a sin or every law of the Most High is not written down in your Bible. Y'all, when you gonna get back to listening to the voice of the Almighty? That's his word that's pure. The voice of the Almighty is what he's been speaking to you before you can even remember. That's his voice. That's his word. All right, by the time you picked up a Bible and read certain things, that just was a witness against you. Like, I knew that was wrong. How did you know that was wrong? How did you know stealing was wrong before you read it? The voice of the Most High been talking to you. All right? You're wired morally and righteously. You're already wired like that. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. Contrary behavior comes in when you start learning from the wrong teacher. You start learning outside of the Most High's original order. Y'all, look, nature is a classroom. It's the Most High's sanctuary. Check in. Check in. You can learn all about the Most High by studying His creation. Once you receive the knowledge of doing good, or once you receive the knowledge of righteousness, and you go against that, y'all, even if it ain't written down, that's when it becomes sin to you. So all you brothers out there tell us, I agree with you, it's more healthier. Don't even agree with us. Don't even agree with us. You understand? But I'm still going to chew on this dead animal flesh. Look, your best bet is not to agree with us at all. Because that means you know you're supposed to be doing better and you're not doing it. That means you know you're supposed to be doing right, but there may come a time when I'm going to do wrong. You see that? Y'all, it ain't written down drinking bleach is a sin. But I bet you know better. I bet you know better. So don't let these men play you with the technicality. We're not going to play around with that. Y'all, we're pointing you back to paradise. We're pointing you back to life. We're telling you you're not in bondage to us. Listen to the voice of the Most High that's been communing with you. And that voice ain't never failed me. Never. It's only when I decided to go against his voice that I pay for it. I knew better. I knew better. Trip off this. If the voice of the Most High is telling you, don't go in that building. Do not go in that building. And here come a Negro with his graduation garment on telling you precept, and he hits you with 100 precepts out the Bible to convince you to go in that building. Y'all, what voice are you going to listen to? Get back to listening to the voice of the Almighty. Man can't tamper with that. All right, Nehemiah, read that one more time. Let's go on back to 1 John, the 3rd chapter. I pray I'm making sense.
Man, I'm over here putting this stuff in Facebook.
You say what, Hebrew?
I'm over here putting all this good stuff in Facebook. I just made a post. I'm about to blow up the internet.
What you typing in Facebook, man?
Hey man, I say there is no law that says that eating human flesh is a sin. Barbecue human flesh, my meat eating people. And then I put it in, and it's gonna be in the comment. I bet you know better, James 4:17. Many of you know that putting down flesh is better, but you don't. Then it is sin. That'll remove James 4:17 out the book. Then I was gonna type in drinking bleach, but
look, it becomes sin to you, y'all, when the Most High convicts you to do something, and you go against that, y'all, you're sinning at that point. It don't matter if it's written down or not. Right? Y'all, I know men who justify laying with prostitutes of other nations. Because the written law says you ain't supposed to make a harlot or whore out of the daughter of Zion. Well, she ain't no daughter of Zion. Oh, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and buy me a hoe. Yes. Yes. But what is the voice of the Almighty saying to you? You're not supposed to be laying with harlots. And the fact that you are, you're going against the voice of the Most High. All right? So that means, y'all, every form of fornication ain't found in Leviticus, the 18th chapter, and Leviticus, the 20th chapter. What about you laying and dealing with somebody that the Most High is telling you you ain't supposed to be doing that with? Even though men may have convinced you with a million precepts, but you can't duck his voice, though. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Let's jump on back. 1 John, the 3rd chapter. All right, the law of the Most High is not just what you're found written in the Bible. What about you going against the law of doing righteousness? Going against the voice of the Almighty that speaks with every last one of us.
I got the mic on.
Come on, man. No, you're not gonna be able to get off on no technicality dealing with the Almighty. No,
but technically,
you ain't gonna have no King James Bible on Judgment Day. Was you gonna have your little reader with you? Hey man, grab that precept on God. No, I don't work like that. Y'all get back to listening to his voice. All right, 1 John 3 and 5. What does it say, y'all?
All right, we're at 5. It says, and ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whoever abideth in him.
Hold on. That verse 5 say he was revealed to take away our sins. And in him is no sin. The Messiah was revealed to take away our sins. All right, and so since that's the case, what's the need in the future in front of us for any reinstated Levitical priesthood that's going to be offering up burnt offerings and sin offerings on their behalf and your behalf? If Messiah has been revealed to take away your sins.
No need for it.
No, exactly.
Why establish Melchizedek to bring Levite back?
That's just the truth, y'all. Why establish Melchizedek to bring back the order of Aaron? We're going to read over some of them order of Aaron, them Levitical laws that they took. Oh, wait, boy. Oh, wait. The teachings of the Messiah directly shut down that temple and the officiating of the Levitical priesthood. It directly shuts it down. Because if he was revealed to take away your sins, y'all, you're not bringing no more sacrifices to them. Not none. All right, verse 6. Go ahead.
All right, verse 6. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. And whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither know him.
Not sure about that, y'all. All right, if we abide in the Mashiach, we not supposed to be sinning. Now here come the brothers, man. We all sinners. Whenever you hear somebody say that, they're saying they don't abide in the Messiah.
They're a practitioner of lawlessness.
Yeah. Now, hey, look, y'all, we not supposed to be practicing being a sinner. Let's say if you abide in him, you don't sin. And if you are sinning, you never seen him, nor known him. So I ask again, what's the use of the sons of Zadok in the kingdom, in the millennial reign, or in the New Jerusalem? Offering up sin offerings and burnt offerings for themselves and for the people. If we just read, if you abide in him, you don't sin. And whoever sins have not seen him, nor have known him. Y'all see? Watch this, verse 7. Let's eat.
All right, verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
Hallelujah.
And he that committed sin is of the devil.
Y'all heard that? If you're sinning, if you're going against the eternal law of the Most High, all right, if you're going against his voice, guess what? You belong to Satan. You belong to Satan. Go get back to listening to the voice of the Almighty. He'll never lead you wrong. His spirit will never guide you wrong. All right? This whole time, you got men keeping you bound by laws that were put beside the Ark of the Covenant, written by men, and they were given to the priests, and the priests gave them to the people as a witness against them for rebellion. But you broke the eternal law of the Most High, his covenant written with his finger. That's what you broke. All right, if you commit sin, you belong to Satan. Now, how many of these men I heard teaching, you know we all sinners. Hey, look, speak for yourself. We at war with sin over here. We ain't going to take no knee to the devil over here. All right, go ahead, Doc.
He that committed sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
The purpose of a Mashiach is to destroy sin, to destroy the works of the devil. All right? To destroy sin and destroy the works of the devil. There are a lot of things that are written down that have been destroyed, that you are not doing anymore. Not one jot or one tittle shall pass from the law till law be fulfilled. That show you he wasn't talking about all the laws written down. Because there are things that are written down that ain't none of us.
And the law of sacrifice is done away with, but the earth and the heaven is still here.
Make it make sense in the comment.
Well, there you have it.
There you have
it.
The
sacrificial law is done away with, and heaven and earth is still here. He could not have been talking about that.
He could not have been talking about the Levitical order or the order of Aaron. That's done away with, and the heaven and earth are still here. Either true about this, either Messiah is lying, or you don't know what law he's talking about.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't know what law he's talking about. Y'all, there are two Torahs in the Bible. There's a Torah of life and a Torah of death. Y'all, he did not, look, listen to me. The Messiah did not come and uphold the laws of if a man see a virgin in a field and, you know, he lay hold on her, which means kidnap her, some say seduce, whatever. All right, without her father's consent. And they lay with each other. And the man got to throw the virgin's father 50 shekels of silver. He ain't come to uphold that. And true about this, ain't none of y'all doing that. None of y'all doing that. You see? So when it says not one jot or one tittle shall pass from the law to all be fulfilled, either he's lying or you don't understand what law he's talking about. These men are keeping you bound by 613 laws that were written for or written against the priest, and the priest gave it to the people as a witness against them for rebellion. Now that don't mean you can't glean certain things. That don't mean you can't glean certain things or learn certain things that pertain to life that are written in the Torah. We ain't saying that. But you are sadly mistaken if you think that certain things written down, such as things for the Levitical priesthood, such as opening up the belly of any animal and taking the organs out of any animal and taking the fat off the altar and his dung and burning it on the altar, you sadly mistaken if you think they got anything to do with giving life. He destroyed the works of the devil. He done destroyed sin. And if you're not sinning, y'all, guess what you're not doing? You're not bringing any sacrifices to any priest. These are revolutionary statements right here. And the whole deal was to get man free. You understand? First and foremost, from this so-called quote-unquote sin nature that man day in and day out submits himself to. Sin. The works of the devil. But trip out that if you're not sinning, there are no sacrifices you're bringing. Quite ironic how the Levitical priesthood is destroyed and the temple has been destroyed and the altars have been thrown down and the flesh sacrifices have ceased. Oh, wait. Read that verse 8 again for me, brother, if you can.
He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil.
Oh, go ahead.
Whosoever is born of Elohim, watch this, does not commit sin.
Y'all hear this? If you are born, if you are a child of the Most High, all right, you don't commit sin. All right. So by show of hands, if you are a child of the Most High, put a 1 up in the chat.
Verbal 1.
Child of the Most High, put a 1 up in the chat. I want to see this.
Ani bin Elohim. Nah, just one.
I see one. I see one. All right, well, look, if you're going to claim that, guess what? You can't commit sin then, or you don't commit sin. Whosoever is born of the Most High does not commit sin. Oh. Come on, Hebrew.
For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of Elohim.
He is begotten of the Almighty. All right? Messiah is the firstborn or the first begotten of the Heavenly Father. All right? Amongst many brethren. All right? The Most High should be able to look at every last one of our lives and say, that's my son right there. This day I beget you. That's my daughter right there. This day I beget you. Y'all, the whole purpose of a Mashiach is to destroy the works of the devil and for a man to push on toward perfection. You're supposed to arrive at your point of perfection in this life. We all got a lot of work to do, but y'all, that don't mean you can't reach it. All right? And our job is to challenge you to reach that. Challenge each other. Hold each other to a higher level of understanding, a higher level of morality. No, that's off. All right? Verse 10.
In this, the children of Elohim are manifested, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteous is not of Elohim, neither he that loveth not his brother. Ooh.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
You see how deep that comparison is?
Bring it out, Hebrew.
Listen, comparing to how you move in righteousness or in sin is just as powerful as you not loving your brother. So all these people that ran around and chasing Hamashiach, trying to kill him and throw him off head on, were clearly of the devil. And the same ones you heard manifest that same spirit against Malachi and Yaki and honor and humility, same spirit. But how do you threaten somebody? Y'all witnessed this. This ain't something that we made up. Y'all witnessed this. How can you hate your brother for telling you to stop eating meat, stop drinking, stop smoking, stop destroying your body, and live? To the fact, death threats and everything else that came. And y'all witness, ain't nothing we made up. Y'all know it. And listen, like Yeshua just said, he woke up this morning looking at all the little videos and everything. Look, bro, the haters really look, they ain't talking about these people having Passover at strip clubs with bottle girls. They ain't talking about Passovers. I mean, them same people jumping on other brothers and fighting them. They ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying, brothers being high priests, self-proclaimed. They ain't talking about people who don't keep the Shabbat and holy feast days. They ain't talking about nobody who keep the solar or the lunar calendar. They ain't talking about nobody else in this hour right now but who? Ooh, we. And I'm talking about, bro, I can take you to Facebook. You on Facebook, go to Mally page and look at the post he posted about Hebrews chapter 10 and follow how long that is. Boy, I had to say some things to some brothers. Y'all brothers are stalkers, brothers. Y'all brothers are mad. Y'all don't put up this much fight for against nobody else. Nobody else. The same old sorry souls just come to say something.
Hey, what it is though, I figured it out. Not only do they got hooks in their jaws, a lot of people are mad because they're losing control of their assemblies and their congregations.
Because too many people coming up there talking about this.
Yeah, a lot of they losing control, and that's the reason behind them trying to get out in front of it.
So this is a political assassination like it was with Hamashiach, huh?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then
they losing control. Go ahead, you show up.
No, I was saying, then we put the clam out there. Look, you're gonna be counting heads, you know what I'm saying? Be having head counts or whatever. It's like you're starting to see that, you know, people actually challenging their leaders. They actually going up and challenging their leaders. Like, what is this stuff that they talking about? You know what I'm saying? Why haven't this been ever brought out to us and stuff like that? Why have you ever taught us this, you know, or even showed us this, you know? And it's like they've been trying to keep them in they've been trying to keep Moses' feet. I've been seeing that though.
Yeah, and again, y'all, we got to stay focused because again, food shortages, y'all, that vaccine, well, they going hard now with these so-called vaccines. All the commercials, all the ads on YouTube. You know what I mean? They using us. They using our people. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. A lot of them are losing control. You understand? But the more they talk, that's how you know that they're not being led, that they're willing not their own. Because the more they talk, the more people come check us out. All right? And then they see exactly, these brothers ain't saying nothing wrong, man. All right? The Most High wants to deal with his people more and more, y'all. It's time for you to open yourself up and listen and cleanse yourself out. All right? All right, Hebrew, read that verse 11. We're going to jump.
Yeah, you want the creator of life to work and move in you while taking death of his creation. He created the animals before he created you. So why you want to kill the animals and you want the creator of life to dwell in you with death in your body? Something else. Verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning. He always go back to the beginning.
Genesis, baby.
This is the message you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
That's right, y'all. Love is a law. Love is a law. And, you know, people can jump out there and say, we don't love y'all. How is that possible? How is that possible when we go against the grain to tell you something that you need to hear, to make you better so you can profit spiritually? All right? Love is what it is, meaning, look, the message is going to come out regardless of the situation, regardless if we lose fame, regardless if we lose subscribers, regardless if we lose money, regardless if we lose our lives. We must speak truth. We must speak love because you have to hear it regardless. But the opposite side of it is the hatred, y'all. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? But that let us know we stand on holy ground. All right. Verse 12. Go ahead, Doc.
Ooh, wait. Read that verse 11 to 12 again.
Okay.
For this is the love that for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of the wicked one, who slew/murdered his brother. And wherefore slew/murdered him him, because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous.
And his brother was righteous, you see? And see, so when you see certain things raising up, when you see men foaming at the mouth, you know what I mean, making death threats and all that, it's because the works that we are doing that's being manifest are righteous works. All right. And the devil in a person or in a group or in an assembly or in a camp.
Can I precept something, brother?
Absolutely. Satan in them makes them rise up and foam at the mouth. But we expect that. And we embrace it wholeheartedly. All right. Come on, Hebrew, let's get it.
Run that Proverbs 6:16 through 19.
Absolutely. Let's get her done.
And understand the thing that was in the beginning is that we slew. Murder was on the table. You see what I'm saying? And don't let nobody tell you different, bro. Because the blood of his brother cried out to the Most High. The blood cried out, didn't it?
Absolutely it did.
Ooh-wee.
But the Roddy Ride say today feels like a Friday.
Hallelujah.
That's the same spirit. I just told my rib that. But man, I feel like a Friday.
That's tomorrow.
And you know, that's tomorrow. We right back at it tomorrow. It'll be the Most High's will.
Yeah, I'm on plantation overtime tomorrow, but I'll be ready.
Hallelujah, brother. Let's get it. What we got?
We're going to start at 16, and we're going to end it at 19. But I want to focus in, and you probably know where I'm going to go. We're going to hit that blood.
I know where you're going. Just let me know when you want me to pull it.
Yeah, well, it's in 17. But let's go ahead and read that 16.
Bet. I got you. These 6 things doeth Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Ooh-wee. 6 things he hate, and the 7th one is abomination.
It says a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
Let's get it, bro. Pull up that H18:18, bro. Listen, this is the very sin that we just read about. When he slew his brother, he shedded his brother's blood. His brother's blood cried out from the earth, right? So we're going to see what it means, right? Blood is dumb.
Strong's H18:18. Dom.
You heard him, little blood cast him out Damu.
Yeah, my cousin be saying that.
All right, go ahead on down, Mally. You see right there where it says Strong's definition. Read that, bro. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, brother. Innocent blood, slew of innocent blood. It's one of the things that God hates. Go ahead and read that, Yeshua.
Got you. And it says Dom from H1:18:26 compare H1:19. Blood as that which when shed causes death.
So blood that is shed which causes death. This is what you just read, right? In 1 John. Same thing that God hates. You reading it again in Proverbs, which is written wisdoms, right? Go ahead.
It says of man or an animal.
As man or a what?
An animal.
Oh my God. So the little animals ain't supposed to be shedded blood, huh? Which causes death.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Because when you understand like he hates the shedding of innocent blood, that's straightforward. He hates innocent blood. So how do you justify the sacrifices that's in the temple?
You can't. You can't. You can't. Exactly. You got it. You cannot justify it. And Christ told you that in Matthew 6:7. And you see that through the prophets that we've been reading. And listen, all while staying in the Bible, bro. All while staying in the Bible. All these things been written in the Bible, but you never looked this deeply into it. Because we love to kill the animals. But never could their blood, ever, take away sin. Some brothers say, well, it just temporarily covered sin till Christ came. So you telling me God is cruel to give you temporary coverage? He gave you the day of Yom Kippur. He didn't have to you didn't have to take no innocent animals. You had Yom Kippur. But yeah, man, look, shedding of innocent blood which causes death of man or an animal. Keep going.
It says, by analogy, the juice of the grape.
Mm-hmm.
It says figuratively. It says, especially in the plural, bloodshed, drops of blood, bloody guiltiness.
Guiltless.
Oh,
Yep.
guiltiness. Okay. And it says thirsty, innocent.
Innocent. Now, if you go there, Matthew 12, I wonder if it's in there. Go down, man.
I was just finna say that too.
Yeah, I wonder if it's in them definitions right there. I was just looking right there. Okay, yeah, I didn't see it in there. But yeah, you definitely know if you go to that Matthew 6, Matthew 12, you look at that 6 and 7, you will see it right there. The guiltless. You see what I'm saying? Animals that was never supposed to be killed, bro. 6 and 7. Yep, 12, 6 and 7. And bro, ain't nobody making this up, man. This has been in your Bible the whole time, bro. We are still in the KJV. We have not wandered beyond this book, right? And man, verse 6 is one of the most powerful scriptures I've ever heard in my life. Let's see if they catch it, Yeshua. Go ahead and read that 12:6 real quick.
But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Hey, man, that tells about read that, man. That does something to me, bro. See, he speaks so clearly, but they didn't even catch it, bro. He said one that is greater than the temple is here. Oh, my boy.
I'm in the presence of you right now.
What? Boy, you don't even know, boy, the Son of God is right here, boy.
Statements like that to get you, again.
Did Matt have a pause?
Yeah, I was sure thinking that.
He showed stuck right there, ain't he, man? Look at his face. That boy stuck.
Sin no more.
He back. He like he back.
Hey, but when he telling me, when he going in and telling you to sin no more, when he going in to tell you that for this purpose was the Messiah manifested that he may destroy the works of the devil, and that if he abide in you, you don't sin, and you can't sin, and you won't sin. Y'all, that's a problem for a Levitical priesthood.
You take away their power.
That's a very problem. So him being a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense was literal, because when he came and taught you, liberated you from what these priests were doing in this temple. You understand? And that also has to do with the liberation of all the Most High's creation. All right? He disrupted a $1.5 billion industry, and that was 2,000 years ago. Y'all, you're dealing with trillions of dollars a day. These slaughterhouses are bringing in trillions of dollars a day, and it's all funded and it's all propagated by your lust.
Facts.
You see? So when he say something like, but I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. Y'all listen to me. These are revolutionary. 2,000 years ago, you talking like that? And they over there telling you the temple is God's house. And he telling you one here is greater than that place.
Ooh, wait.
No, it's definitely.
You see why they was trying to stone him, man. And look, he was letting it be known that God's dwelling is you. You are God's dwelling. You are Yahweh.
Kingdom is within. Yeah.
It's not the building. Won't be a stone left overthrown or unturned. That won't come down. Y'all bragging about this place. Hey, y'all, it's about to be a wilderness. So for him to say, I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. To say that 2,000 years ago when the temple is still standing, when it's considered a world wonder, y'all, that'll get you destroyed out here. But his very teachings was dismantling that very temple. You understand what I'm saying? By him teaching you to go and sin no more, y'all, you're taking jobs away from the Levitical priest by not sinning.
They got to get rid of him. They got to get rid of him. People ain't even showing up to buy sacrifices from us no more. He's a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense amongst Israel. The way he lived, you understand? They coming to him to get healed. They not going to the Levitical priest to get healed no more. They coming to him to get the breakdowns of what Moses really was saying. They not coming to the scribes no more.
Oh, we
unemployed.
You understand? They not sinning. They not going to the Levitical priest and bringing the flesh of animals or buying sacrifices no more. Everything he was about was totally against what was going on in that temple.
They weren't even coming to the temple to hear the priest anymore. They was gathering wherever he was.
He's
Whether
taking,
it's at the
he's
shore, on
taking,
the boat, wherever.
y'all, and we talking about thousands of people at one time. Masses following Hamashiach.
And not the temple.
And then here he come. Then he come on his way up to Jerusalem. One of his last acts that got him executed, he attacked the temple. He attacked the temple. And guess what he did? He released the animals. Let them go. Let them go. You see that? Y'all, this right here is very revolutionary. So it makes sense that men who claim they're messianic, but when we call them to the mat about these so-called sacrifices that's supposed to be getting done in the Messiah's kingdom, when we call them to the mat and say, look, it's impossible, all that's going to take away sins. Then what they doing offering up sin offerings? What they doing offering up burnt offerings? Messiah has perfected all those once and for all by the body of himself.
Bring it out.
We bring that out. That got men foaming at the mouth. Men obsessed. But it makes sense. You got to be obsessed. Because guess what, y'all? We talking about two different messiahs. We talking about two different kingdoms. They are talking about a sinful kingdom that you can make right now. You can keep sinning right now. And you all good because the sons of Zadok going to be offering up burnt offerings and sin offerings on your behalf. And here we come saying, it's going to be a sinless kingdom. And we've been sanctified and perfected once and for all by the offering of the body of a Mashiach, who went into the real holy of holies. You see that? That ain't God's house. Am I lying? Am I making this up? I thought the prophet Isaiah say heaven is his throne and earth is his footstool. What house you gonna build the Almighty? The heavens of heavens can't contain him. So to talk like that while a physical temple is standing, y'all will get you marked for death then. So it makes sense now why these men foaming at the mouth. One greater than the temple is hurt. And
look, that's why I said they don't know him. That's why it says you don't know him. Even all these cats that claim they do not know him.
Straight up, you don't know him, but claiming you do. All right, Matthew 12:7. Watch this. Go ahead,
But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy. I will have mercy. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Ye should not have condemned the guiltless.
Oh, talk about it, Mally.
Y'all hear that? Now, then Messiah goes and quotes Hosea the 6th chapter, verse 6-8. If you knew what this meant, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. You wouldn't have been slaughtering the innocent or the guiltless. Y'all, who the innocent in the temple being slain?
It ain't the priest.
And being sacrificed. Who are the innocent in the temple being slain?
It ain't the one bringing the sacrifice. Only by deductive reason, the only one that's innocent is the animal.
It's the animals being slain because they ain't sinned against their maker. The Messiah shut that whole temple down, everything that had to do with it. And he prophesied it was going to come down. And in 70 AD, through the Romans, it came down. And ain't a Negro offered no type of sacrifice since. But mad at us because we telling you, that's none away with. Push on to a perfection. If you think you're going to have you some offerings to offer up in the kingdom of a Mashiach, you sadly mistaken. The offerings he want, y'all, are a broken heart and a contrite spirit and the praise of your lips.
That's it.
You don't want the dead flesh of animals. If you're obeying, You're not
He said,
sinful.
if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you anyway. What you gonna get the Most High who owns a cattle or 1,000 years? You gonna bring him a hamburger? But the angels don't even eat meat. They eat angels' food, which is manna.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's all I had. Just a real quick precepts, you know.
Read that verse 8. Read that verse 8. Something else that'll get you stoned. Because the men who are in Moses tell you you got to keep Shabbat a certain way. Now watch this. Matthew 12 and 8.
For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day.
Y'all heard that? He's saying I'm Lord, I'm master of the Sabbath day. Sabbath day was made to serve you, not you it. Something that'll get you stoned, y'all. Because these men had something called a Sabbath day's journey. These men thought you was breaking the Shabbat by carrying your so-called cot around. These men thought you were breaking the Shabbat by picking corn on the Sabbath to eat. No, y'all, we ain't talking about bondage. We talking about freedom. Freedom from these men. We not talking about death. We talking about life. And we ain't talking about a sinful kingdom, whether you talking about Mashiach's kingdom or the New Jerusalem. We talking about a sinless kingdom. Push on toward perfection, and we gonna challenge you to do the same. Let's jump on back. What was we at before we came in? Proverbs 6?
Yes.
Yeah, but we was at 1 John 3.
We already finished 1 John 3. We was in Proverbs 6.
Yeah, that's where we was at.
What you want to keep going out on Proverbs 6, didn't you?
No, I was good. We read to that 19. Oh, we just got to read it.
Read 6 and 7.
I think we stopped at 17.
Yeah, we did. When you pulled out blood, y'all, blood also means of innocent animals.
And we just read guiltless in that Matthew 12 and 7.
That's right. Innocent blood, y'all, that also got to do with the blood of animals.
These are things that God hates.
These are things that the Most High hate. If y'all understand that, give us an 8 up in the chat. All right, we don't want to lose nobody.
Let me find my keyboard type of 8.
All right. Read that verse 17 again if you can, Nakamya.
All right, it says a proud look, a lying tongue.
My brother say, Mordecai Jim say he been a professional athlete for 17 years. Family been off the flesh for a whole month. And he said he ain't never felt this way in his life.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
In his life. That's the house of Dwayne Hosey. Hallelujah. Blessed to your family, my brother.
Hey, I know I feel good over here, bro.
Man, me too. I got so much energy. It's ridiculous. All right, come on now. Y'all see how the teachings of a Mashiach is contrary to the priesthood. It's contrary to what's going on.
And that's what these brothers mad about, bro. They mad that you still ain't on the priest. You have moved beyond. Listen, your righteousness has exceeded the righteousness of the Pharisees, which was told to you to be done by Mashiach.
Absolutely. Absolutely, y'all. Push on
You're on a good road. You're on a good road, Israel.
Man, we're gonna push you. We're gonna push you toward perfection, no matter how many men put their mouths against us. They supposed to, though. That's the thing. You understand? Look, it was prophesied a long time ago. There are men crept in unawares. You understand? Who shall privily bring in damnable heresy. All right? They got to show face in these last hours. They got to come against that which is not sinful. We ain't teaching you to sin. At all.
Hey, Rod, they big mad.
We teaching you to stop doing what's killing you. Chewing on the dead flesh of animals ain't healthy. It's not bringing you no life. It's actually poisoning your blood. It is. Drinking hard liquor, cognac, or whatever, that ain't doing you no good. It's destroying your liver. Smoking weed or smoking cigarettes or smoking Black and Miles ain't doing you no good. It's blackening your lungs. So we gonna challenge you to put it down. I don't got no authority to give you a commandment, but as your brother, I can get on your nerves. They say, "Oh, sister, that ain't how God rock." In the image of God made he them, male and female. Ain't you in the image of God? All right, well, you gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. You better than that. Bro, you gotta let that go. You better than that. So it's our job, all right, to try you, to push you on toward perfection. All right? Let's get it out. Proverbs 6.
Verse 8. A heart that devises wicked imaginations. Ooh, that's the very thing going on right now. They swore that we are the ones going off. Right? But they always swore that Messiah was going off too. They called him a false prophet, a heretic, and everything else.
That's right.
For bringing you deeper understandings and spiritualities of the 10, the original Torah. Right? Written by the finger of God. Watch this. The next thing he hates, a feet that be swift to running to mischief.
Right.
And bro, we see that going crazy right now. We see Israelites that hate Israelites run to each other to be best friends, to talk about Malachi, Maccabee, and all of this.
How good.
The ops have come.
Man, you know your brother, man. I embrace all that with open arms, man. I love it. You know what I mean? I straight love it. It's all good. It's all good. Shout out to my esteemed brother Antonio Perez. Me and him had some words yesterday through the email. Peace and blessings to you, Malachi, for the advice of my esteemed brother. They was definitely a test, and the first thing I thought about was the words you spoke to me in that email. Hallelujah, brother. Hallelujah. Y'all, I'm here to serve. I'm y'all brother. I'm not no fan. I'm not the one out here telling you I'm a 12-shield general or no chief priest or no more. I don't even like being called moray. I'm not your moray, man. I'm your brother. That's it.
Well, you know they'll call you moron every now and then.
Yeah, I know. But I don't never receive it. You know what I mean? Like I don't come on and say, "Oh, this is moray minister Malachi from the Melchizedek ministry." I don't know.
High priest, elder brother.
Nah,
Morani,
man, I'm here to serve. Right? We're gonna push you, we're gonna challenge you to be better. All right. And look, if it's anybody that's listening that may be on the fence, or anybody that's listening that fancy themselves as one of our ops, y'all know we can always get on the phone. There's a few people that don't. As you see, the crazy part is there's a few people who want to holler at me. That want to holler at me and just let them sit down and yell at me in a group. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to sit down and listen to a whole bunch of hot breath Negroes who don't like me anyway, just run their mouth. I ain't doing that. All right, but ask yourself this: why you don't want to deal with me one-on-one? Why you don't want to deal with me one-on-one? Me and you, face-to-face, or even over the phone, scriptures out. And let's see who understands last. Let's get it. That spirit in you, that's the spirit in you that you in agreement with, do not want you hollering at me one-on-one. Why not? Why not? You got to ask yourself that. Any of you brothers that's listening that may be on the fence, that may, you know what I mean, that may be listening to the ops on the other side or whatever, right? I'm not about to sit down and listen to a whole bunch of Negroes breathe hot air in my face who don't like me anyway. But each one of them going to holler at me and we can deal one-on-one. What's up? Either face-to-face or over the phone. Let's open these scriptures up. What's up? And let's dig. And let's see if the understanding you have lasts. We can get that. And a lot of them brothers, believe it or not, y'all, I've already talked to them. I've already talked to them. And they know it, all right? So I ain't never above hollering at our people. But there's a lot of people that really need the understanding. There's a lot of people that ask questions because they really want to be edified. And there are other people who ask questions because they just want to be entertained or they think they got something. You feel me? But look, it's all good over here. We can always rap. All right? Why you don't want to holler one-on-one, you need to be asking yourself that. If I get you by myself, it's a rap. It's a wrap. All right, Proverbs 6, and where we at? 19?
Yep.
Go ahead.
A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discourse among brethren.
He that soweth discourse.
That one is super high.
Bring that out, Nehemiah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, for those, you know what I'm saying, that run and tell and go talk to the ops and all that, man, and be whispering behind closed door and taking pictures and like you in some type of you know, what's that, Regal Room pictures and stuff, man? Like, bro, they going off. I see it though. I see it. It's disheartening though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's expected. It's expected.
It's written, so shall it be.
Yeah, absolutely. I ain't surprised not a little bit, right? But again, certain brothers fold under pressure. Right? Pressure either make you great or you break. What you can't handle. You're beefing over blocks, but not to kill enough for Orlando. Ooh-wee. And drop a ball on your shoulder real quick. All praise and glory now to the Most High. All right, so we see that blood or that shed of innocent blood, y'all, has to do with animals as well. All right, we witnessed it with Matthew the 12th chapter, verse 6 through 7. If you knew what this meant, I would have mercy and not sacrifice. You wouldn't have condemned the innocent or the guiltless. Y'all, by deductive reasoning or just by using common sense, who are the innocent in the temple who are being sacrificed? It ain't the one who brought the animal. It ain't even the priest who did the slaying. So who is it? It would have to be the animal. All right. And with the Messiah commanding you to go and sin no more, y'all, that is a direct teaching against the Levitical priesthood, because they need you in sin to present your sacrifices and to partake of certain sacrifices and for you to buy certain sacrifices, because they getting it all for free when you pay them the tithes. When you pay them the tithes, whether it's in livestock, whether it's in corn, whether it's in wine, whether it's in oil, 10% of your increase went to the Levitical priests. All right. All these can be used, especially the grain and especially the livestock, because you got what's called oblations, which is a bloodless offering, which ain't nothing wrong with that. And then you got bloody offerings. Now, say you commit a certain trespass, we're going to read some of it, and you don't got the required sacrifices. Guess what you got to do? You got to go to the Levitical priest who got these sacrifices or these livestock for free through your tithing every year. And guess what? They're selling to you upcharge 200%. Then guess what you got to do? You got to go ahead and bring that to them. And guess what? They got to go ahead and slay that on your behalf. But if you're not sinning, guess what's not happening? You're not buying sacrifices from that. All right? No need to go to the temple. All right? If you're sick and you're being healed by Hamashiach, and Hamashiach rolled with these things as well, who taught you how to heal yourself by introducing your body to the right environment, meaning the proper foods. Anything you're dealing with, you can be delivered from, spiritually or holistically. So now you're not going to that temple anymore to be healed by some so-called priests. You see that? Then the Messiah said, you have heard of old time, it's been said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, resist not evil. Dang.
All right.
He telling you, man, whatever come at you, take that. Take that with wisdom and love. Embrace that. The same opposition that came at the prophets and the disciples, y'all embrace that. He say, resist not evil. Don't even be in the spirit of an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But ain't that a Mosaic law? Ain't that written down? For us to be in eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth? Right? That's written down. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, foot for foot. Blood for blood. Ain't that written down as a law? A 613 law? Messiah said, yeah, you heard that. Yeah, that's written down. But I say unto you, resist not evil.
And that sounds like the street.
Come to you. Embrace that. Because now you on holy ground. Now you can deal with the same spiritual opposition the Messiah was coming against. Or that was coming against the Mashiach. And if you can deal with all that and still not get out of character,
you've arrived at the level of perfection. If you can deal with all that hatred, all that threatening, all that murder, all that physical and all, if you can deal with all that persecution and still not get out of your spiritual current, guess what, y'all? At that moment, you have arrived. You've reached perfection. You see that? Messiah was teaching against what Moses taught in many aspects. He was. In certain aspects, he taught directly against what Moses wrote down. He said, "All for the hardness of your heart," Moses wrote that. But from the beginning, it was not so. And what the Most High has joined together, let no man, Moses is a man, let no man put asunder. Moses got it written down. You can put away your wife for whatever reason you want to.
Uh-oh.
Messiah said, I say unto you. You see?
Yeah. And then
he was against it. He was against it. Go ahead, Yeshua.
No, I'm saying like with it just sounds like off, you know, like I heard gang members in the street say, man, it's an eye for an eye. I heard people saying this. All that's gonna lead is more dead brothers, you know what I'm saying, more brothers in the system, in the prison systems, and more single parent households. You know what I'm saying? If you out here divorcing your wife, you are for any cause, you know what I'm saying? Look at all the sisters out here that don't got no type of coverings. You know what I'm saying? You leaving them defenseless, you leaving them without any fathers in the household. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, like, you can sleep with that person and then you done with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like the streets. It sounds like the what we know in the world. So that's why Christ had to set it straight. Like, from the beginning, it wasn't so. You know what I'm saying? You don't put your wife away for no apparent reason. You don't just kill your brother, you know what I'm saying, like that. You don't just like try to go head to head with your brother or whatever. You battle hatred with love. And that's the whole thing. Christ was coming down to tell us, like, look, it wasn't from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So follow what was from the beginning.
Hey, look, man, look. I want everybody to take time out for a hot second. You heard me? That just came from a 16-year-old man who loved the Lord. Listen what I just said. That just came from a 16-year-old young man who loved the Lord. How do we supposed to be bringing them up? That's what you're supposed to be on. Where a 16-year-old can see that the reasoning behind certain things is so illogical that it leaves fathers out of homes. It leaves whoredom open and abroad. It leaves parents, women and children unprotected. That's how you're supposed to be rearing up your sons. So when he talked with the wisdom of the Most High, his fathers before him. You see what I'm saying? A child or a man like that at his age to have his knowledge can move safely into the world banging for the Most High with the family that he would rear up. You see what I'm saying? And that is the purpose of the scriptures, to teach the next generation the better way to live, the better way to be. Eat right, be holy in all your conversation, be holy in all your endeavors and interactions with people, and be holy and set apart when it comes to dealing with this word compared to dealing with the world. That man just gave you wisdom based out of what happened in the streets, what happened in homes that are broken, and what happened in relationships. 16 just gave you that. People on here 30, 40, 50, 60 years old ain't even got relationships understood yet. And they in this truth, throwing women away like crazy. But you get mad with a brother who say, I'm going to cover my wife and my other wife and my other wife. You mad at the men that's at home with their children and they father. You always hear in Malachi background, if he at home, his children going crazy. Don't let Hezzy come in there. That boy is going to run house. You see what I'm saying? So look, man, y'all, hey, bro. Hey, you sure? I applaud you, bro, because I know you don't do it, bro, but I'm talking about, bro, that wisdom you just kicked, that's 16. That's 16 that just spoke to y'all. Man. Ooh-wee.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead, bro.
No doubt. Yeah, found a life. It says some uncleanness whatever uncleanness in her, or he has lost favor in her eyes. Right? To lose favor in your eyes means you're just not attracted anymore the way you was. That initial fire that was in your bones when you first saw the woman has dwindled.
Hey, Mally, let's pull that up and pull them definitions, bro.
About this, regardless of it, Messiah taught against that. He taught against even if she lose favor in your eye, you just find some type of uncleanness in her. Right? He taught directly against it, saving it be for the cause of fornication, and that's basically the whole point. Because if you leave Deuteronomy 24 on the table, look, these wicked Negroes can come up with any uncleanness. All right, he can say, "I don't like the way her farts smell." Right? Or there was a reason he lost favor with her. Or he can say, "Look, you gained a little bit too much weight. I'm about to write you a bill of divorce." And that what was happening in Israel. Men were divorcing their women because they wanted to. And look, the reason was left up to the man. I found the uncleanness in her. What kind of uncleanness? We all know that. We all know women bleed once a month. So what uncleanness you talking about? You see, in other words, men manipulate these so-called written laws. And the Messiah said, you heard it been said for that, but I say unto you, if you put her away, saving for the form of fornication, for the sake of fornication, you cause her to commit adultery. Right?
And the man commit adultery.
You commit adultery too, and whoever get with her after you done put her away, commit adultery too.
And whoever get with the man, commit adultery.
So he talked directly against what Moses was saying. All right.
So where did Moses get that from?
Against that. All right. Now it's men out here claiming they're under the 613 laws, and Deuteronomy 24 comes up. You understand? But you supposed to counter that. What did the king say? The king countered that. King say that's not the true understanding. From the beginning, it was not so. If it ain't for the cause of fornication, you're not supposed to be divorcing your wife.
That's right. That's right.
Right? Uncleanness or her losing favor ain't fornication. That was the whole point of us quoting that and saying
he said he got it too. So all praise. He said he got it. But listen, the other thing about fornication, even spiritual and physical, right? Fornication is still breaking one of the 10 commandments. Let me explain why I say that. It breaks the first one, right? Thou shalt have no other God before me. When you sit there and go into the covenant of another man, right? Spiritually, physically, right? You're going under another covering. That way you have another power over you. That's fornication. And if you have another power over you and your husband supposed to be reverenced as unto the Lord, then what have you done? You have chosen another God or another covering over your husband. You have broke the very first commandment in doing so. Go ahead, Op.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hebrew servant. Absolutely. Look, we're gonna hold everybody accountable. We're gonna hold everybody accountable. That's right. The Most High knows the hearts, and He will judge accordingly. Absolutely. Hey, y'all. Not once you know better, you're commanded to do better. Going against what you know is right, it becomes sin to you. All right. All right. Matthew 9:1. Let's get this, y'all. We're gonna read Matthew 9:1 down to 13.
You got there, you sure?
Yeah, I'll get that for you.
Hallelujah.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 1. And he entered into a ship and passed over and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of the palsy, lying on a bed. And Yahushua, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven thee.
Go ahead.
And behold, certain of the scribes, said within themselves, this man blasphemed.
Hey man, these scribes are one of the Messiah's chief enemies. Y'all, the scribes are those that's a fraternity. It's a fraternal order that's in charge with writing down, interpreting, and teaching what's written down concerning these Mosaic laws. All right. They're one of his chief enemies because the way the Mashiach interpreted and taught and edified what he received from his father was opposite of what the scribes were doing. And the scribes and the Pharisees sat in Moses' seat. They were the religious authority in his day. But he directly taught against them. Right? He comes and says, your sins be forgiven you, showing you that the man's sins is what brought on the sickness. The man's sins is what brought on what? The paralysis. It was his sinning that brought it on. So then he forgives his sin. He sees his faith. Your sins be forgiven you, right? So here come the scribes who got control over the people because they control the writing, the interpreting, and the teaching of the so-called laws. Now here comes the scribe saying he blasphemed. Here comes Messiah going against the status quo. He was not liked in the inner circles. Like honor and humility ain't liked by most of these camps now. Come on, Hebrew.
And Yahushua, knowing their thoughts, said, what think ye evil in your hearts? I mean, wherefore think ye evil in your hearts? For whether is easier to say, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk. But it says, but that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Then saith he to the sick of the palsy, arise, take up thy bed, and go into thine house.
Oh, wait, what? Go ahead.
And he arose and departed to his house.
Come on.
But when the multitude saw it, they marveled and glorified Yahweh, which had given such power unto men.
Y'all hear this? You see? Now, trip out that. The scribes, again, are the ones writing down, interpreting, and teaching the laws or the Mosaic laws. It's the scribes. Jeremiah prophesied in Jeremiah 8:8 that the scribes and their pens work a falsehood or work lies. All right. Obviously, these same scribes 500 years later were their lies and what they were doing were in effect during the time of Mashiach, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have been his enemies. Scribes were in effect in Jeremiah's day and in the Mashiach's day. The scribes were in effect when we came out of Babylon and in the Messiah's day. Their understanding is totally different. He's teaching directly against them, and he's showing where the power and authority is at. All right, if y'all understand that, give us a 7 up in the chat. All right, verse 9, let's get it.
And as Yahushua passed from thence, my bad, let me read that again. And as Yahushua passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the at the receipt.
The receipt of custom. He was a tax collector.
Okay. At the receipt
of publican, something highly hated by the Israelites.
Yeah.
Because that means he was collecting taxes for the Romans. You understand? Romans keep levying these taxes, and you look up and a native Judean don't even have his land or a house. All right, so publicans are highly hated. Go ahead.
And it says, well, I'm gonna read, it says, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and he said unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. And it came to pass, as Yahushua sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples.
Come on.
And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, why eateth your master with publicans and sinners?
Now we have the scribes, now we got the Pharisees. Go ahead.
But when Yahushua heard it, when he heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician, but they that are sick.
Come on.
But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance.
Y'all heard that? Right? They that are whole don't need a physician. All right. Another thing they had said also,
Physician, heal yourself. Mashiach taught his disciples not only how to cast out devils and lay hands and heal, but also we're teaching people how to heal themselves. All right? There's scenes in Nazarenes when you get into the history of these brothers were very deep into holistic healing, spiritual healing. You understand? They were totally against what was going on in that slaughterhouse called the temple. They were heavy into the herbs, all of it. Heavy into the forces of nature, teaching man how to become one with the Most High's creation, and in essence, learning to heal and cleanse and purge out the temple of the Most High. All right, they were totally against flesh eating and all that. All right, because these things by way of your mouth is what's bringing these so-called diseases or these plagues into the body. All right, we've been in agreement with these so-called sicknesses and these so-called demons way too long. All right, it's time. And look, it only take a few weeks, y'all. It only take a few weeks, whatever you're dealing with. It only take a few weeks. If it's something real crazy, a few months. And just subscribing to what we call plant-based. You know what I mean? And getting away from the flesh pots. And you'll see a dramatic change. You'll heal. Again, we know people ain't even on the blood sugar. I mean, ain't even on the insulin from the diabetes. Ain't even going to dialysis anymore. All these are death sentences. Major league sicknesses. So we want to see y'all live and live life more abundant. All right? And we're going to come at you. Yeah, we challenging you. We're telling you put down that which is killing you. Because that's what's happening there. It's actually destroying you. The Messiah's teachings directly come against what was going on in the temple. All right, you're coming to him for the true understanding and the breakdown. This is written, right? Written by who? Scribes. You heard it been said that this is what's written, but I say unto you. So he's coming against the scribes. Right? He's healing the people. Go and sin no more. Your sins be forgiven you. So guess what? The people ain't going to the Levitical priests to bring sacrifices that they partake in. Right? Nor going to them to buy sacrifices if they don't have them because they was receiving the tithes. So it's coming against the Levitical priests. All right?
Especially if he's saying, go and sin no more. And he tell me, take up your bed. You know what I'm saying? You are forgiven. And they asked him, who is he who can forgive sin? Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Bro, he was bankrupting them, bro.
That's right. At every turn, they were being shut down. He was the threat. All right. Now,
sure you see it, don't you? You sure say he see it.
The Sadducees were the priests. The Pharisees, so the Sadducees had control of the temple, but the Pharisees had control of the synagogues. All right. So he coming at the Pharisees too. Let your righteousness succeed the scribes and the Pharisees. You ain't getting into the kingdom. Every aspect of so-called religious, theological, and political leadership dealing with the Herodians. He called Herod a fox in one of them scriptures. Came at Herod. Every faction of theological or political leadership that was backed by the Roman Empire, your Messiah was a radical and a revolutionary against it. And he taught you how not to be bound by this so-called sin nature. He taught you how not to be bound by your emotions. Taught you how to heal yourself. So guess what? You're not going to this theological and these political leaders or these puppet leaders set up by the Roman Empire. Y'all, it was pure revolution. It was pure revolution. And he also taught you how to be accountable for your own life, accountable for your own sins. He came and became the example. You understand? But guess what? He ain't being offered up every day like them priests offer up them so-called animals. You understand? Every tub got to sit on his own bottom, Jack. Go and sin no more. And if you ain't sinning no more, you ain't bringing no sacrifices. You ain't bringing no sacrifices, the priests are out of jobs. And if you ain't killing no animals, you for sure ain't chewing on them. He's a rock of stumbling and a stone of offense. And it makes sense the one time when he was in the synagogue in Luke the 4th chapter. In Luke the 4th chapter, he was in the synagogue. Y'all, they try to kill him. He say, in this day, in your ears is this scripture fulfilled. They try to murder your Messiah after that. I'm here to set the captives free. Well, the Pharisees had control over the synagogues. The Sadducees had control over the temples. The scribes had control over what was written. The Sanhedrin was comprised of all of them, and they made up the courts, appointed by Rome and the Herodians. The gospel of the kingdom of heaven, y'all, is pure revolution because it overthrows the establishment. And when you come in that spirit, men gonna come at you and hate you behind that. It makes sense. And I'm talking about Israelite men who know who they are. Just like the Israelite men and Messiahs, they knew who they were. Just like the imposter Jews who were fronting like they were Judeans and the Messiahs, they knew who they were. Y'all, this ain't, looking for the longest, we thought this had to do with the church. This ain't got nothing to do with the Christian church. This got everything to do with this Israelite movement. All right? If y'all understand, give me a 7 up in the chat. We gonna end it. I'm gonna go over some more of them Levitical laws some more for the Friday class, Yom Shishi, day 6. All right, I'm gonna end it today with some chapter 90 of the Gospel of the Nazarenes, the section they call "What is Truth." All right, yeah, your Messiah is revolutionary. If you embrace his teachings, it's directly against the establishment. All right, and y'all, it's the perfect economic model for world peace. It is. All right. Shout out to my sister T down in Burke County, Georgia. She said she just got her sing gospel of peace, and she said she loved the direction the channel was going now. It's so liberating because a lot of these sisters, y'all, are in bondage or have been held in bondage. You understand? So shout out to her, my sister T, my brother Garrett, his wife, their daughter, my sister T's son CJ, little Hebrew 7. You feel me? So in the gospel, or they sing gospel of peace, in the sing gospel of peace, it goes into you know what I mean, the whole teaching and the science behind actually healing yourself. All right. The Bible says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. All right. You get back to what the Most High prescribed in the beginning, and you'll heal. You'll heal. And y'all, we wouldn't be saying it if we didn't have testimonials. You actually can heal yourself. Just get on back to Genesis 1:29. Genesis 1:29 meal plan. Put that down your mouth and it'll blow your mind, even in this so-called fallen, decayed flesh. Genesis 1:29, what was given in the beginning, is still working on a major league level. All right. Well, all praise and glory now to the Most High. All right. All right, let's go ahead and pull this on up real quick. All right, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, Mikha'el. Eat what you're supposed to eat from the beginning and get your prayer on, praise on. All right. And release and look and release a healing from the throne of the Almighty. Most High wants you healed and whole and healthy. All right. All right, so we're going to go to this chapter 90. I'm going to pull it up as big as I can. And we're going to go ahead and get her done. Let me go ahead and share this. Nehemiah, Shaw, y'all got anything? Anything y'all need to say?
Not really, but this just struck like a fire in me. Like before this class, I ain't gonna say I was feeling down, but I wasn't like how I was right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm charged up now though, you know. All praise though. This is a excellent lesson. Let's go ahead and bring it out though, brother.
All praises, man. Our Messiah was revolutionary and he rebelled against the establishment. All right. His liberation of death, and he died liberating his people. And he lives on forevermore in our hearts and in our minds. Right? So understand that. Understand that. It's time for us to take this thing to the next level. The Most High wants to deal with you on a higher level. Right? But if you can't filter through the noise of Babylon,
All right, whether that's what you're throwing down your mouth, whether that's what you're speaking, whether that's what you're acting like. If you can't filter through the noise of Babylon, then you're not gonna be able to hear his voice. All right. We challenge you to put down what's killing you, and guess what? You're gonna hear more from the Most High than you've ever heard in your life. To blow your mind. Dang, stuff I'm thinking is happening right then and there. Whoa. Prayers is boomeranging back quick. You see? All right, so all praise and glory now to the Most High. Let me share this real quick and let's get her done, my family. And then we're gonna pray on out, all right? I know brother Nehemiah got to get on up. All right. All right, let me put it on like that. I'm about to share this. And y'all, let's go over this. What is truth? All right. Gospel of the Nazarene go on. All right. Make sure we get her done. All right. Now, this is after he resurrected. All right. Chapter 90. Hebrew servant. You speak the truth. I am a witness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, let's get this, Yeshua or Nehemiah, either one of y'all.
Let's get it.
Let's go ahead and throw it out. What is truth?
It says, what is truth? Again, the 12 were gathered together in the circle of palm trees. And one of them, even Thomas, asked, it says, okay, ask the minds.
Ask the others.
Ask the others. What is truth? For the same things appear different to different minds. Okay, yeah, to different minds, and even to the same mind at different times. What then is truth?
Absolutely, y'all. Look, and that right there is common sense. What is truth if certain things appear differently to different minds at certain times? You understand? Like we done became real pompous in this Israelite thing. We became real pompous, right? As if we all got the full understanding of the truth, y'all. And it ain't not one Israelite on this earth that totally agree with the next Israelite. But you claim you got all the precepts. Well, if you got all the precepts and that's how you arrive at full understanding, why don't none of y'all agree on anything? Don't precept your way out the scripture or out of truth. All right? And if that's the case, why did he lead the Holy Spirit? To guide you into all truth. What then is truth? Verse 2.
And as they were speaking, Yeshua appeared in their midst and said, truth, one and absolute, is God alone. I say is in God alone. For no man, neither anybody of men, knows that which God alone knows, who is the all in all.
He said that truth belongs to the Most High. Period. Now watch this. Now, how doesn't the Most High reveal truth to men? All right, we over here. I'm talking about I got the truth. No, you don't. You got an aspect of the truth based off how the Most High decides to reveal it to you. We run around, Yeshua, like we can put a copyright on truth.
Facts.
The truth is founded in the heavens. There ain't a man walking this earth or who had ever walked this earth outside of a Mashiach that can claim copyright on the truth. All right?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Hebrew.
Yeah, he is the truth. And he's the one that's revealed unto us. You know what I'm saying? And it says, to men is truth revealed according to their capacity to understand and receive.
Do y'all hear this? Truth is revealed to every last one of us based off our capacity to understand and receive. What we out here getting mad and arguing for?
This right here is telling you we all gonna have different perspectives of what we call the truth. Because it's only revealed to you based off your capacity to understand and receive. Well, everybody's capacity ain't the same. Everybody understanding ain't the same. All right, if you understand that, give me a 4 up in the chat. 4 for the try. All right. To men is truth revealed according to their capacity to understand and receive. That's how it's revealed. What you over here argue with me for? Blessings to the house of Yada El Yon. May the Most High have mercy as well, my sister and my brother, on the mother of Yada El Yon. His mother recently passed. May she find comfort and rest in Abraham's bosom, and may the Most High bless her memory and comfort her soul. Hallelujah. All right, so we all understand truth is revealed based off your capacity to understand and receive it. Y'all, that means we shouldn't even be arguing. What are we arguing about? We all have different understandings. We all have different capacities. All right? Go ahead, Yeshua.
The one truth has many sides, and one sees one side only, another, and some see more than others, according as it is given. It says, according as it is given to them.
Y'all hear that? The truth has many sides to it. It ain't, look, about this, y'all, it's not a flat sheet of paper. The truth has many sides. It's very complex. It's founded in the heaven. You can only, and it only can be revealed to you based off your capacity to understand and receive. But it has many sides. Why? So knowing that, why would I get mad at a brother who can't see what I'm saying? But why would the next brother get mad at me because I can't see what he's saying? Come on, man. Verse 4, go ahead.
Behold this crystal. He had a crystal in his hand? And I said,
behold this crystal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a crystal, huh? Witchcraft, huh? Stop that, man.
Let's get it.
Stop that. Come on, behold this crystal. Go ahead.
How the one light is manifest in 12 phases. Faces. Yeah, faces.
12 faces. Go ahead.
Yea, 4 times 12. And each face reflects one ray of light. And regards one face and another. But it is the one crystal and the one light that shines in all.
Y'all see that? Truth has many faces and many sides like a crystal. All right? Go ahead.
My bad. Behold again, when one climbs a mountain and attaining one height, he says, this is the top of the mountain. Let us reach it. And when they have reached that height, lo, they see. Says, lo, they see another beyond it until they come to that height from which no other height is to be seen. Says, if so be they can attain it.
I understand it. Truth is like a mountain, right? You climb a mountain and get to the top and look off and say, dang, there's a taller mountain over there in the distance. There's another mountain over there in the distance. You see, I thought I had the perfect view. I thought I reached it all. I thought I made it to the top of the mountain. No, there's more heights you need to go. And see, and that lets us know, you feel me? If you ain't perfected, then you're going to forever be climbing, y'all. You can forever be growing in this. Get away from those men that's teaching that stagnant doctrine. Keep you stagnant. You ain't climbing. You ain't moving. You just, it's dry eyes. No. The Spirit of the Most High is quick. It ignites your spirit. It challenges you. It convicts you. All right? So don't never get into this and think you've arrived and you've made it.
Facts.
I'm at the top of the mountain, and the cat that thought he was at the top of the mountain looked over and said, I got some more climbing to do. I asked your brother Malachi Maccabee, I got more climbing to do. But I'm not the same brother I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 17 years ago. I'm not. I'm not the same brother. And you shouldn't be either. I'm not in the same position I was all them years ago. And you shouldn't be either. You should be climbing. But never get in your head, I've made it. Because guess what? You mess around and look up and say, I got more mountain to climb. You see that? Come on, Hebrew. Let's get it.
Got you. And it's powerful that a lot of brothers coming out and bashing what we doing because they saying, man, you coming against the scripture like the scripture is the all in all truth.
Right.
But we got more mountains to climb. You know what I'm saying? The truth is as unto that. So verse 6. So it is with truth. I am the truth, the way, and the life, and have given to you the truth, which I have received from above, and that which I seen and received by one is not seen. Bars. It says not seen and received by another.
That which is received and seen by one is not seen and received by another. The truth is like that mountain you climbing. There's more climbing to do. The truth is like that crystal. There's one truth, but it's many sides to it. What is seen and perceived by you is not seen and received by another. How dare we get pompous in this? How dare we act like, oh, okay, because you can't see what I see, you going off. How dare we? Look at us. Look at us. As if we've arrived. No, you're supposed to be growing, though. If they ain't pointing you toward perfection, if they ain't pointing you toward paradise, which was in the beginning and which will be in the end, if they ain't pushing you toward perfection, you need to get away from them. Because we're going to teach you to fly high over here. We're going to teach you to go on to perfection. Keep climbing. All right, go ahead, Doc. Let's get it.
That which appears true to some seems not true to others. They who are in the valley don't see what they who are on the top, the hilltop see.
Exactly. Makes sense. Those who are in the valley don't have the same vantage point as those that's on the top of the mountain. A lot of us just on different levels. So what I see, you may not see. What you see, I may not see. The man at the top of the mountain has a different vantage or viewpoint than the man in the valley, and vice versa. Well, do that mean the man in the valley ain't in the truth? No, I don't mean that. Do that mean the man at the top of the mountain is the only one in the truth? No, it don't mean that. There's many sides to this. There's many levels to it. Push on toward perfection, family. All right, go ahead.
But to each, it is the truth as the one mind sees it. And for that time, till a higher truth shall be revealed to the same and to the soul which receives higher light, shall be given more light. Wherefore, don't condemn others, that you not be condemned.
Y'all heard that? Or judge not lest you be judged.
Whew.
Now you got a deeper understanding of what he was saying. He was speaking about the truth. Look, y'all, we all got different perspectives. We all on different levels because the truth is many sides to the truth. I hear you come judging somebody like they didn't fill out the truth. He say, look, don't condemn others. Don't judge others lest you be judged. How pompous, man. Y'all ain't heard us driving nobody like, oh, nigga, you can't see it, you doomed. No, we just gonna challenge you to be better. But the flip side is men out there doing that with us. Well, you know he gonna bring his game face. He done studied the game tapes. you know what I mean, Shaw?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he gonna bring his game face. He done studied the game tapes.
Better bring his A game.
Yeah, don't condemn others that you be not condemned. So y'all understand that we got the Nazarene Acts, we got the Gospel of the Nazarenes, the Holy 12, we got the same Gospel of Peace, we into the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that. Now don't let the spirit of pride into you. And you start condemning others. We ain't here to condemn you at all. But we are here to challenge you, exhort ye one another daily, right? Now watch this. Verse 8, go ahead.
As you keep the holy law of love, as you keep the holy law of love, which I have given to you, so will the truth be revealed more and more to you.
Y'all heard that? The holy law of love. If you're going to keep the law of love, so more and more truth can be revealed unto you. So that means, y'all, if you're going to handle properly, you got to be sincere and filled with the law of love when you bring these things up. When you bring these truths out. It can't be from a personal perspective. It can't be, you understand, for a personal agenda, none of that. So will the truth be revealed more and more to you? Go ahead.
And the spirit of truth, which comes from above, will guide you, albeit. It says, albeit through many wanderings.
Through many what?
Through many wanderings.
You're going to be searching. That's the whole thing, y'all. And that's good. That means this truth is an adventure. You constantly going to be wandering and searching. It's like Indiana Jones, you know. It's an adventure. Thank the Most High for that. Because it could be boring. It's not boring. Through many wanderings, go ahead.
Into all truth.
Come on.
Even as the fiery cloud guided the children of Israel through the wilderness.
Hallelujah. Go ahead.
Be faithful to the light you have.
Y'all hear that? Go ahead.
Till a higher light is given to you.
Be faithful to the light you have. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to the voice of the Almighty. He'll never guide you wrong. Be faithful to the understanding of the light that you have until a higher light is given to you. You got to be faithful in that which is little. How you gonna be faithful in that which is a lot if you wasn't faithful in that which was little? Y'all, these are the inner teachings. Messiah was speaking about a lot of this, but you never really understood what was being said. You thought, oh, well, you know, unless I'm faithful with this little house I got, I never had me a mansion.
Wicked servant.
No. He's telling you to be faithful to the understanding and the light that is within you. The knowledge that you have right now until a higher understanding comes. Now you can understand deeper what Hamashiach is saying. Now you can understand deeper what he means when he says, judge not lest you be judged. Or condemn not lest you be condemned. Because here you go talking about somebody who has a different vantage point, different viewpoint in the valley and you on top of the mountain. Or he may be climbing the mountain. Here you go with the spirit of pride talking crazy. Somebody he fell off. Nah. Condemn not lest you be condemned. All right, what else it say, Hebrew?
It says, seek more light, and you will have abundantly. Rest not until you find.
Rest not until you find. Go ahead.
Keep seeking. It says, God gives you all truth as a ladder with many steps.
Y'all heard that? The truth now is compared to a ladder with many steps. It was a mountain. It was a crystal with many sides. Now it's a ladder with many steps. Look at this. Go ahead.
For the salvation and perfection of your soul, of the soul, and the truth which seems today, you will abandon for the higher truth tomorrow.
Oh, wait. Go ahead.
Ooh. It says, whoso keeps the holy law.
Press toward perfection.
Oh, okay. Press towards perfection.
I heard what he said. The truth is a ladder. Has been established as a ladder. All right. For the salvation and perfection of your soul. Truths that you hold on today will be abandoned tomorrow for higher truths. Press toward perfection. And that's the whole thing with honor and humility, y'all. We challenge you, press toward perfection. Now, higher understanding may come. That don't mean you done turned your back on the Almighty. Or you done turned your back on the Mashiach. Your understanding and your awareness or your consciousness has risen. And you don't look at Genesis, the first chapter, like you used to 5 years ago. You see how revolutionary the teachings of the Messiah is going against, you understand, the so-called priesthood and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Sanhedrin and the Herodians. 5 years ago, you thought a lot of them was harmonizing. No. You understand. Your awareness is raised up. So it tells you that the truth has been established as a ladder with many steps for the perfection and the salvation of your soul. What you hold on to the truth as today will be abandoned tomorrow for higher truths. Press toward perfection. But condemn not, right? Now watch this.
That sounds like an intro to a song or something.
We need to go ahead and make that. Let's make it happen. Go ahead.
It says, whoso keeps the holy law which I have given, the same will save their souls. However, differently they may see the truth. See the truth which I have given.
Y'all heard that? He's saying flat out, if you keep the holy law which I have given. That law of love we read about earlier, Yeshua.
Yes, sir.
The same will save their souls. However, differently they may see the truths which I have given. You see that? Y'all, what we doing ain't based in love, then guess what? We ain't gonna have no salvation. We don't see things differently. That's what he's saying.
And it makes sense when he say all gonna see, you know what I'm saying? All eyes gonna see, you know what I'm saying? We all
in
gonna
Zion, Isaiah 52, when he redeems Zion, we gonna see eye to eye then.
Yeah.
But as long as you keeping the holy law of love, you're gonna have salvation of your soul. However differently you may perceive the truths that's been given.
And then it makes sense because if you in the kingdom there, if we all gonna see eye to eye, you must have made the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So however you seen it, you know what I'm saying, and this person seen it, y'all must have was seeing it. It was just two different truths, but they were right. The truths were right. Just one person was on a higher level of truth than you was on a higher level of truth, you know?
Right.
So it makes sense.
He was just looking at it from a different perspective, huh?
Facts.
You may have been in the valley, he may have been on the mountaintop.
Exactly.
But look, as long as it's all done with love, love conquers all. If it's not done with love, you're not making the kingdom. All right, come on now.
Hey man, it's 12, man. It says, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, Master, Master, we have been zealous for your truth.
That's like today. Many people claim they ain't a truth, million precepts. All right. We have been zealous for your truth. But watch this. Go ahead.
Well, that's crazy. But I will say to you, no, but that others may see as you see, and none other truth beside.
You hear that? Nah, you wasn't zealous for the Messiah's truth. You was zealous so everyone could see or submit to your understanding of it. Everybody could see it through your lens. You wasn't zealous for the Messiah's truth. What you was zealous for that others may see as you see, and none other truth beside. You got to be careful with that. And Israel know better because everybody in Israel don't even agree on every topic. Israel can't even agree what to call the Most High. Here you come condemning somebody. Here you come saying somebody ain't in the truth. Here you come running your mouth. No, you just mad because we not going to submit to your understanding of what you seeing. We see it differently.
Messiah just said, what? You gonna have salvation as long as it's done with love. And not under a prideful agenda that everybody got to see it how you see it. What else to say, y'all?
Faith without love, faith without charity is dead. Love is the fulfilling of the law.
Your belief without love or charity means nothing. Talking about you been zealous for him. No, you ain't. You've been running around here destroying, left a path of destruction around her. You ain't did nothing but destroy lives with that Bible you talking about. You ain't built and healed nobody with it. Running around here mad because somebody don't see it how you see it. Well, y'all, faith without charity, faith without love is dead. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Go ahead, Hebrew.
And that's so hard that his teachers too. I mean, not his teachers, but his students. They took on to these things and actually was teaching the people like faith without works is dead. Like, and that's dope. And it says, how will faith in what they receive profit them that hold it in unrighteousness?
Right, you hold belief in unrighteousness. How would that profit you? How? Go ahead, Op.
They who have love have all things. And without love, there is nothing worth.
Go ahead.
Let each hold what they see to be the truth in love. Ooh. It's a knowing that where love is not, truth is as a dead letter and profits nothing.
You hear that? He say, man, trip off this. He say flat out, let each hold that which what they see to be the truth in love. All right, y'all, that means you got to be sincere in this thing. I don't know who this casino cat is. I got to hide you on my channel.
I sure was wondering.
All right, but he straight tell you right here, let each hold what they see to be the truth in love, knowing that where love is not, if it ain't no love there, like what we seeing from these mealy mouth Negroes in these hours, truth is a dead letter and profits nothing. Y'all gotta be loved the way we came out with this. We came out with this not caring what nobody had to say. Couldn't be for money, you lose money and fame behind this. Couldn't be for subscribers, you lose subscribers. Possibly could even lose your life behind it. No, we got a strong conviction and came on out with. Look, we got to come on out with that. You understand? That's love. Withstand all type of fiery darts. That's love, all right? So knows what he's saying right there. Knows what he's saying right there, all right? And let us apply that. Because if love ain't there, guess what it is, y'all? It's a dead letter and it don't profit you nothing. All this faith and belief and claim you in the truth. No, you not. No, you not. If it ain't being handled properly, if it ain't being handled in love. Y'all meaning in sincerity. Meaning when I'm speaking, I really want this to benefit you for your betterment. There ain't no hustle in this. All right, go ahead, Op.
There abides goodness and truth and beauty. But the greatest of these is goodness. If any have hatred to their fellows and harden their hearts to the creatures of God's hands. How?
It says, harden their hearts to the creatures
of God's hands.
Of God's hands. Go ahead.
How? It says, how can they see the truth to salvation? Seeing their eyes are blinded and their hearts are hardened to God's creation.
You hear what he's saying? How can they see the truth to salvation? You understand? Y'all, part of the Most High's creation or creatures are his animals. Seeing their eyes are blinded and their hearts are hardened to the Most High's creation. Look at that. 15, go ahead.
As I have received the truth, so have I given it to you. Let each receive it according to the light and ability to understand.
Come on.
And don't persecute those who receive it after a different interpretation.
Y'all heard that? You're not supposed to be persecuting those who have a different interpretation of the scripture or of the truth than you. And y'all, that's what's going on. Men foaming at the mouths, death threats, and all that. We embrace all that. It's all good. But these men don't even know they're in violation. They're in utter violation. What you gonna say? Oh man, I ain't gotta receive that book. What you don't believe don't mean it ain't the truth. And I'm gonna show you how hypocritical, because you're running around with people who you don't 100% agree with on nothing.
In unity camps?
Yeah, those so-called Hebrew summits, none of those men agree. None of them. The one guy say he over the calendar and don't nobody follow his calendar. They all keep their own dates. That's just one example. All right. As I have received the truth, so I have given it to you. Let each receive it according to their light and ability to understand. Y'all, you only can receive it based off your ability and the light within you to understand. And don't persecute those who receive it after a different interpretation. Last verse, go ahead.
For truth is the might of Yahweh, and it shall prevail in the end over all errors.
Right.
But the holy law, which I have given in plain for all, and just and good, let all observe it for the salvation of their souls.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's chapter 90 of the Gospel of the Nazarene. Chapter 90, closing block. Chapter 90 of the Gospel of the Nazarenes. What is truth? The Most High has established truth. He has established truth as a ladder with many steps for the perfection and the salvation of your souls. Truths that you hold on today will be abandoned tomorrow for higher truths. Push on toward perfection. Truth is compared to a mountain. It's compared to a ladder with many steps. It's compared to a crystal with many sides. All right? Showing that there are different perspectives of the truth. And tell you, don't persecute those who have a different interpretation. Because guess what? You'll condemn yourself. All right? So all praise and glory now to the Heavenly Father, forever live his first begotten beloved Son, the sinless one, in the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Love all y'all indeed in truth of y'all. Whatever you're doing, make sure it's done in love. It can't be no personal agenda, no fame seeking, no vain glory. You understand? This can't be a hustle. All right? Well, honor and humility is bringing out. We bring it out because we love y'all. And we were commanded to bring it out. All right? And that's the truth. So all praise and glory now to the Most High. All right? Anything you doing out here and ain't rooted in love or charity, guess what, y'all? It's dead. It's dead and it means nothing. You're wasting your time. All right? Young, your show, talk to us. What you got for us?
Well, I have a parable.
Bring it out, bro.
For everybody that's wondering how they should what they should do to stand against the evil. You know what I'm saying? To not resist the evil. You know what I'm saying? And take all these things with love. There was once a seen man who was an old man, and he was standing by a river, and his students came up to him. It was a lot of students, probably like 10 students came up to him, and they seen him just standing at the seas or the river, and out of nowhere he falls into it. He falls into it, and the current sucks him up. And while he gets sucked into the current, he's the students, they appalled. They like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they thinking they master is dead, and that they ain't gonna be able to he ain't gonna be there no more. So they walking down the creek trying to find him, walking down the river trying to find him. And amongst the stream, they see him walking out of the water, just walking out of the water. And he get up like ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing happened. So they ask, Master, how did you survive? How did you survive from just getting sucked inside the currents? You was left for dead. So he replied unto them and he said, I didn't fight it. I never fought it. It was nothing. I just went into the current. I became one with the waters. I became one with it. I didn't fight it. I just became one with it. And the current, it guided me back to where I needed to be. It guided me back from to shore. And that just goes to when we going through things like evil coming at us, when you in certain situations in your life where you don't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? It might seem hard, or anything that come in any like challenges that come in your life. Don't go to it with the mindset of, I mean, I ain't gonna be able to get through this, or you trying to fight it off. You trying to fight all this stuff off. Nah. Become one with the flow. Become one with the flow. Take it with love. Don't fight it. Learn how to adapt to every single situation. To every situation. Any place and any thing that's going on in your life, any challenge, any stumbling block, anything, any hardships, become one with it, and choose to go with the flow. That's where that saying comes from, though. The flow. Go with the flow, and you'll be able to get out of every situation. Whether it be hardships, whether it be challenges, whether it be blocks in your way, hurdles, you're gonna be able to get through it if you go with the flow. That's why Messiah says, "Is this not evil?" You can't fight it. You can't fight it because it is inevitable. Just like death is inevitable. It's bound to happen. You're gonna have challenges in this life, especially with what you do right now. You know, family, you're standing up for the truth. So there's gonna be conflicts. There's gonna be challenges. Listen to the voice that tells you to keep going, and rebuke that voice that tells you that you're not good enough. Rebuke that voice that tells you that you can't do it. Rebuke that voice that tells you that you're not gonna make it. When everything is possible with God, with our Father. And yeah, just learn how to adapt to it, family. Continue to be filled with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is going to guide you and show you truth. It will show you truth. That's the spirit of truth. It's going to guide you in the way wherein you should walk. So blessings be unto my family. Peace be within all of y'all. May the truth of God be within you. And don't stop till you eat not. Don't stop till you eat not, family. May the blessings of our father Abraham be with you. Shalom.
Hallelujah. Absolutely, brother. Resist not evil. I like that one. Right? Ain't no point in fighting any of it. Right? Embrace it and become one with the opposition. Yeah, that's powerful. Hallelujah. Hey, you mind reading us a psalm, bro?
Oh yeah. Let's get it in.
Read us a psalm. Let's pray on out. Y'all, we gonna face Jerusalem. We gonna pray on out. And let's go ahead and get it done. Hallelujah.
Let's do it.
All praises.
Bet we're gonna do Psalms 23. Let's get it in. Let's see. Real quick. All right, we doing Psalms 23. Let's get it. Yahweh is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell, and I will dwell, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Say
Selah. Yahoo. Let's get it.
Yeah, I felt that.
Hallelujah.
Bro, I felt every bit of that.
Hallelujah.
Man, it's amazing how we can charge up more now.
Facts.
Speaking on the Almighty, you know what I'm talking about with them. You call them electrical currents or shocks, or your body be warming up quick now.
Facts.
Quick.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Get
I
that
salute you, my brother.
Hallelujah, man.
Strong. Hey, keep going. You understand? Your brother is well needed, especially in this generation. All right, we're gonna pour into you as much as we can. You understand? But we have a strong expectation for you to be better than us. All right, and whatever we can do, we're gonna pour into you, guys. All right, but for this generation, you definitely need for that youth. All right, so family, I love y'all. Indeed, the truth. Don't stop till you eat knock. Strap up, back up, check in and check out. One love and one blood. Yo.
Yo.
What's up, man? You back? All right, look. Hey, what's up, y'all?